What is up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Flicking with Skip. This is your host, Skip Marazzi, here on a Constant Space podcast where we talk about movies while I work on some frames of animation. It's long and arduous work. These frames were animated by an artificial intelligence acting as a tween between what Jack had drawn and what we needed them to do. And so we're just cleaning them up so that we can put them together for a pitch. Obviously, this isn't the most ideal way to be working on this project, and I wish that we didn't have to, but currently this is what we have working for us in order to get the project moving. If you are a person who wants to do some puppet animation for us, where we take some of the stills that Jack draws and draw with Jack, and we begin to make them move like it's their beaks speaking, perhaps emoting a little bit with their body if that's possible, or even doing things like hand gestures. And in this shot, the rooster changes hands. Um, we can talk about that. Recognize that this is a pitch that we have going forward. We are looking for Patreon supporters as well. And so that's the sort of environment. But if you look at Cox and Space and you're like, this is a project that will definitely pay out, and you have the ability to take that risk with us, we invite you to reach out to coxandspace.com. You can click on the Facebook link that's right there on the front page and every subsequent page, and reach out to Aaron Cosbiel, who is our coordinator for people who come on and talk to us. Good guy. You've probably met him if you're listening, the professor of comedy, professorofcomedy.com. If you want to check him out, his show dates and whatnot. He is my co-producer, one of my co-producers on the show. We're co-producing the show together, co-author as well. And with me when we first started the show, it was the reason that we started the show. I believe I've shared this before, but I'll share it again. Aaron Cosbiel is a clean comic, and even back when I knew him about 15 years ago. And so since he is a clean comic, I thought would be funny to put him in a show that was, horrendously named and full of sexual innuendo. And so Cox in Space was born. And Cox in Space, of course, um, is it looks, on the surface to be a dirty show about, but when you find out it's about Rooster Brothers, well, then it's just a laugh. So we performed it. And he thought it was hilarious, of course, because he gets to be a clean comic, but then also tell what are perceived to be dirty jokes, which of course is every clean comic's dream, because you kind of get to get away with something. And so, and I think I've told this story, of course, but it was left to simmer in his brain for about 15 years. And so when we got back together, all of it spilled out, and he told me the entire story. That would have been just a cool idea at that time, but I had been obsessing over a story calculator, which I've talked about a number of times on this show. You can find out more of the information about that at Reddit, our story calculators, and check that out there because there's a bit listed. You can also go to wigwags.us and check out my book, Making the Moment, which is a workbook to break down for you and your team. Not real good at this. You and your team, how to do what I call a George. So, a George isn't the only type of story calculator, but it is one that's specifically shaped for like the shape and pace of like TV and like TV movies like short and sorry, excuse me, TV like sitcom length and then like a full episode length. I can stick the whole. So there is a larger size of a story calculator, but what it says is that the premise you set up is what you stick to the entire time, and then you keep exploring the premise until it gives you more and more information that suddenly makes the initial discovery profound. And the ending is in the beginning because you've been careful to mirror every scene, so the scene of the end of the beginning of the scene is different from the end of the scene, but they're exactly they're tied into one another in opposing opposition. That's the idea. Anyway, um, so it is more fun than it sounds, because a lot of people object because they think it's gonna subject their creativity to something, that they don't want to. And why have a form if you can just think whatever thoughts you want? Which is fair. Some people are really, really smart, so they're they probably don't need this tool. But your friend here is really, really dumb. Um, and so he does need a tool for working out how a story should come around. Because I like, I like stories. I love them a lot. But whenever I try to write them, they start to wander off because they just take so long to write. Let me give you a for instance. Aaron Cosbiel and I are writing episode 3 right now. And I think we've been working on it for like 6 weeks probably. And in that 6 weeks, we've written 2 scenes and the first third of the middle climax scene. Right. So I think that altogether is maybe like 7 pages. And we've written that over 6 weeks, right? So you just have a tendency to lose and drop things if you're not being real careful. And so I think that, the only way to be real careful is to, my goodness, make sure you have a system set up before going in, right? Like it's the same thing if you're like, hey, I'm going to go explore the wilderness, and what would you think? I need a map and a compass. Um, but stories are for creatives, right? So maps and compasses are useful, but also need to have room for flexibility for creative people to roam around because I am a creative person and I like to roam around. And I don't think there's anything wrong with roaming around as a creative person. It's actually where some of the best discoveries come from. But if you don't have that rooted in something, then you have nowhere to put it. And what you've discovered has no context, and so no one knows what to do with it. And so I think I've talked about this on the show, but I don't know if it's specifically that I've said this. But like, social interactions or the way that people behave and why doesn't necessarily make sense to me because I mean, and people be like, oh yeah, because I have this like disability or whatever, and I've never really claimed that because what I mean is when I look at it, if you literally look at it, and I'm saying sincerely, look at people's behavior and sociological societal norms and that sort of thing, they don't make sense. They're just made up and everyone agreed to do them at one point. So it's cool to have them, and I think that social constructs, a lot of them are made up on purpose, and we should adhere to them for good reason because many people have decided, yeah, like this is a good idea that we should have speed limits and you shouldn't touch kids and murder is wrong and don't rip people off, all those things that should be in place. Those are good things. Um, but sorry, there's no one to back me up on this show, so I actually don't know where I was coming from with that. Yep. Um, I can't play back the tape either. My heart is literally stopping right now. It's good to have social constructs, is what I'm saying. But also, I believe there's something about trying to continue to be creative in the face of that. If I was talking about a George, oh my God, I am so embarrassed right now. I'm gonna keep this in so you know what type of idiot I am. Is this is the sort of thing that happens, right? Like I just get lost in the middle of the story and I can't remember what came next or what came previous because, the character player, which is me, played this character, like months ago or a week ago, and so much has happened in that time. I go to work, I have cats. I mean, I have a life. I do have a life, guys. Like, it's not just work and my cats. Kidding. It's work, cats, and this the Cox and Space Project. That's what my life is right now. I'm sure you guys would have figured that out as you listen to. I mean, if you listen to this, so we put out shows 5 nights a week, and I'm there for most of them except for when my grandma died. You know what I mean? So like, this is what's happening. Um, I'm a super fan of this show. That's just the long and the short. I don't know if I've actually mentioned that on air to anyone who is listening to the podcast, but like that's it. Like I love Cox in Space and how we get to like have people listen to it that enjoy the dirty humor of it, but then also remind everyone that hey, it's better to be kind than it is to be cruel because when we're kind, everyone wins in the end, and when we're cruel, there's two losers because you're a bad person. You know what I mean? You haven't gained anything in that situation. You're just what people consider human garbage. What's up, buddy? Um, that was a message coming in, I suppose. Uh, what's up, buddy? How are you? Did did you come in when I was ranting about being unkind to people makes you human garbage?
Nothing to get an edge on this. They probably already poisoned all of our food. You're the mascot. Can you just sit for something?
My, please remix that into a song, somebody. Um, we'll see what happens. I'm gonna hang out here for a second. I can't see the Discord when I have the other app up because it's in full screen mode, but I guess it really doesn't have to be, which might make it possible to do both at the same time. Let me see. No, guys, how do you make it go to another screen? I'm kind of stupid. Oh, this computer. Do they both have to not be? That does make things tricky in that way. So, yeah, that's the so being kind can give you two winners instead of two losers. Because of course the first person is being unthoughtful or just inept. Those things, these things happen. Um, but then when you're unkind to them, now there's two of you. But kindness, even when people don't deserve it, it's weird how it goes a long way. Um, I've been in those situations where I didn't really deserve somebody to go the extra mile and just look out for me, and they did. And yeah, that's kind of like you begin to recognize that you have to do that for other people because sometimes people just need that. And even if they don't deserve it, because like there's definitely points where I don't deserve to be good for people to be good to me, and they do, you know. And so same goes forward. Because it's, we just make the world a better place. Um, if you want to see people being kind, you be the person who is kind. And I think you'll be amazed because it's true. Like I'm not really great at it. I really want to be better at just being like very patient and kind. And so you know, I think that's something that for me personally, like I'm gonna continue to. What's up, buddy?
What's up, dude?
You got it worked out?
Say what?
You got you got your situation worked out? I'm rolling. Welcome to Flicking with Skip. This is Curtis Wolff. Check him out on TikTok at the location that Curtis Wolff is at. What's your what's your location?
Uh, my TikTok is let me look at it real quick. Wolf underscore productions dot 98. That's where I post everything. That's probably the best way to see everything I put out there. So
Sweet. Nice. And I did see that you have a large bit of stand-up out there, which is awesome. So what's up, man? Hey, you ready to jump into it?
Yeah.
Okay, sweet. Because listen, I went and watched Weapons. Did you see it?
Unfortunately, I didn't get a chance because I got 2 flat tires. So yep. So we were gonna see it Sunday, and after a show, and I don't know if I have no proof if someone slashed him or if I hit something, but
2 flat tires.
that night they both have like a very similar like slash to them in the same spot. So I think someone slashed my shit at a comedy club. So that sucks. I really did want to see it. We were gonna go after the show, but she wasn't feeling it, and I was like, if you're feeling it when I get back from the show, we'll go and see it. And then the shit fucking popped. So
sweet. Well, that's awesome because there's a lot of Terrifier to get through, and if you're down to clown,
whatever you want to talk about, dude. Whatever you want to talk about. And I want to hear how Weapons was too. I've heard that it's super creepy with the fucking kids putting their arms out and shit. Like I do want to see it.
So I will. How about I give you a review at the end after we talk about Terrifier, because that's your favorite like franchise right now, right?
I wouldn't say it's my favorite, but it's definitely a series that's like a callback to the 80s, and I appreciate that because you don't see too much of that style anymore.
100%.
It's mostly like supernatural shit now. You don't really see slashers like go full fucking crazy.
That's what you said. Yeah, it's the current slasher, and Damien Leone recognizes that he's doing an 80s homage in like the costumes, the set dressing, the camera angles, the music,
everything.
The lighting. Yeah, like you pointed that out, and it's one of the things I would have noticed anyway, being like, wow, it's very like stylistic. And it really is. He does it well. But it's not like overdone. That's one of the things I appreciated about it. Like it's like,
well, even in the first one with no budget, he killed it. Like off of no budget.
Yeah.
It's very inspiring to filmmakers because I want to be a filmmaker one day, possibly if I can ever get my shit together. And he did it off of nothing. Made a pretty good movie.
You recognize that he does all the special effects for it too. And that's why like he goes for the gore is because that was his specialty.
Expertise.
Yeah, expertise. Thank you. That's the word. Yeah. So like, and he does it really, really well. There's so many kills that I want to talk about. This is my plan, and you tell me if you're down, or if you're not down. But this is the plan: is that I want to go through the movies 1, 2, 3, and just talk about all the stuff that came up, and then because you've seen them a bunch, right? Like you said that you have the box set, like you and your girlfriend love like watching it, or you have watched them all.
Yeah, I've seen every one of them.
Sweet.
You might have to remind me on a couple kills, but there's my favorites as well. So
for sure, I'm sure. And I was like, okay, cool, because I was like, so when you mentioned it last week, I was like, hell yeah, I'm gonna go do it. And I wanted to binge watch all of them, and so I got through it. The only one I didn't watch was All Hallows Eve. How crucial do you think that is to the series?
Not very. I don't even know if that's the one where they have the same because there's one where it's not the same guy.
Yeah, it's a different actor.
Yeah, so it's not really that important, but it's cool, like for the lore, like how they started and shit. But it's like the startup, man. It's not something I ever rewatched.
There's 2 questions,
and I think it's an anthology too. I don't think it's just him, if I remember right.
Yeah, there's 2 films that are in All Hallows Eve, from what I understand. I didn't watch it, like I said, but I did look into it. And then what somebody had said, and I wasn't sure if it was the director, but like the clown from this Terrifier is inspired by the murders from the original movie. That's why it's a different actor. It's because there was like a Terrifier like person, and then I'm not going to spoil the thing as we go along, but as the Terrifier has come to be, it's like he started as an imitation. So anyway, I didn't know. Answer this: are there a bunch of kids that are kidnapped in that film and like kept in like a building?
Which one? The first one, All Hallows Eve?
In All Hallows Eve?
I honestly don't even remember much of that one, if I'm being honest.
That's okay.
Yeah, but that might be the memo. That might be because that was what the first one was. Is they're trapped in that fucking. Because that's cheap.
They were in that garage.
Imagine they just got they got like a fucking little building and a diner for a set. Like they did it really cheap, but they nailed it, and that's a good premise. It's very easy to handle. You're just in a warehouse setting somehow. I don't know how you even do that as a filmmaker, unless those are just really intricate sets he built or
no, those are
owned a
definitely
building
shot on
or some
location.
shit.
You can tell those are shot on location. There's so much random shit in all those shots. You would not adjust the sets like that. There's definitely like a look to it. I've been on those sets where like there's a look to it that's like, yeah, this is what we got. Don't touch anything because they're gonna be back here in the morning. You just said we could use the garage. So. Yeah, no, like it definitely has that, and that's why I appreciated it. It was the first thing that like turned me off about the movie, because his cold open of Terrifier 1 didn't make sense to me. Obviously, it's such a slow burn. But I was like, okay, I'm here expecting to see a clown, and then I see this woman who has her face thrown off talking about a clown.
Oh yeah.
And then she's the one who does the attacking. So I was like, okay, I'm confused. And at earlier time, I was like, I'm just going to turn this off. This is not what happened recently. But that's why I'd forgotten about it. And then when you'd mentioned it, I thought you'd said Terrifier, like this like terrible tragedy that had happened. Like I think we were talking about like earthquake movies and stuff like that. And so like it was like Sharknado, the Terrifier. So that's what like, and then it, like I saw it, and I was like, okay, cool. But like, it's just interesting, and it was a big question I had going through the whole series. Is like, what's the deal with the faceless woman, which he tied up in the third movie, which I was like, oh, this is awesome. So if anyone's like going into Terrifier, being like, what's the case with this woman, it pays off, and it's totally worth it.
I never really thought that she was a good character, though. I thought she was like shoehorned in a little bit in the third one.
Well, he had just kept bringing her up in every movie that like he had to do something. I feel like he should have finished it in the first movie. That should have been really what it was more about. But it turns out that it was the setup for the sequel in the first movie. Spoilers.
Well, the movie, the fucking franchise itself is just like wild because the first one, serial killer like clown, right? And he's just fucking a mute. He doesn't talk. He's very creepy.
Okay, let's hit on
ominous.
that really, really quick. Yeah, that's the creepiest part about Art the Clown, dude.
He just is. He doesn't talk.
Yeah,
he just smiles at you and shit. And it's almost funny. Yeah. Like it's almost comedic. You're like, what the fuck am I watching?
Yeah, exactly. Like he knows he's a joke.
Yeah. And it's like very grimy, like his like other than his face, his outfit, his gloves, he looks like a homeless guy, so it's
he's
like
carrying around a bag of
unsuspecting.
trash full of metal tools. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unsuspecting. We like any horrors going down the street are just gonna like I think there's scenes where people talk to him in all the movies and no one really even acknowledges him, and then they fucking either they die or like that's also the cool thing about it because he doesn't kill everybody, and it's like oh no, what's about to happen, and he just pulls out like one of the squeaky toys out of his bag and he just fucking I'm like okay, like you don't know when it's coming.
Yeah, well, that's okay. So that's definitely after coming the first movie, and that's what you started talking about. That's what I thought was interesting too, is that you can tell the writer director Damien Leone, is that how you say his last name?
Yeah.
Yep. You can tell he studied horror films. Because he went for a classic slasher, but he also didn't go for any particular slasher. He went for all of them. And then he got his own twist on it.
Got a good feel.
Yeah. And so like it's definitely like it's as if it exists in the same genre as the rest of those guys. It's already a classic film and it was made, a few years ago. Like for instance, what he cast is like the final girl. What seems like the final girl, the drunk girl. He shows up with her friend. She looks like Nev Campbell from I Know What You Did Last Summer.
You think so? You think they look alike? I think she looks kind of like I don't know. She has like a Jenna Ortega feel to me. The longer I've seen her, I was like, you look kind of like her, or like there's someone. It's someone Latino.
Here's the reason that
I can't place it though.
He did that on purpose is because of the haircut.
Like a callback. Oh
yeah, which is her bone structure isn't exactly the same. It took me forever in the movie because like it was like she reminds me of someone, but like if you look at the haircut that she has and the haircut that Nev Campbell has, and I Know What You Did Last Summer, especially the first one, which is it's just a really uncommon haircut to have now. It's not like modern. It's like a '90s throwback haircut. So maybe it's
that
not
whole vibe of her.
Yeah, maybe
was
it's just the
odd
costume
too.
itself.
Because, well, no, not just that. Like the vibe of her, she's like a goth chick, but she's sexy and she's normal, but she's just a sister. It's just like she's normal, but she's odd. So it's like she's a good character. She's unique, you know. But they probably had like callbacks like that, inspiration where he's like, let's just fucking throw some shit in that people like might think of like you did. Like you thought fucking I Know What You Did Last Summer, classic. It's not one of my favorites, but it's a classic, and that's
Well,
gonna
that's what I'm saying. Like, I
attract
think
people.
there's notes of everything. He's really studied. You can tell that he's studied every horror movie. Which, I mean,
Oh,
props to him. Like and it shows. You know what I mean? There's even like the way that the scenes are lit and the camera angles. Like it's just like it's a total homage. Um, so like you can say what you want about the gore of the Terrifier or the cheesiness of it, but the man has mastered his thing, and I think that's why he calls his clown art.
because the art.
Yeah,
It's his
because
art.
he recognizes that he's making schlock, but he's also saying that he can make art out of schlock. Like,
Yeah, which is a tough thing to do. Because you've seen it. I imagine you've seen all the B movies. It is not like all the other B movies.
Right,
It's
right,
slowly
yeah, exactly.
grown. Yeah, like the bigger budget he's gotten, and like he started with nothing, and made this
You can
character,
see
did
that,
all
yeah.
this, and every movie, it's just
You can see it. I took some notes because you had mentioned that, and like like every movie you see, like especially when they cut back to the family. Like as soon as it starts showing a family, you can see from the lighting, you can see from the costume, you can see from the sets, like all that's super expensive. Like when you start to talk about making movies, and I'm like, dang, that's their budget. They're not in a garage anymore, you know. Um, So that actually that where we're talking is leading me up to one of a couple of my favorite notes about the Terrifier, and that of course is his name. And the thing that I love about him specifically as a slasher villain is that he doesn't like killing. I think that Freddy and Jason and Chucky love killing. The Terrifier loves terrifying, and like it's so cheesy, but at the same time it's like god damn, like he goes for it. um I'm sorry,
oh
he's
my bad. I don't know what
he's still
happened.
there. Okay, fine. All right, cool. But yeah,
but
so
but
I don't know
yeah,
if
that was
you
fucking
got,
crazy.
yeah,
You're like,
no,
I didn't expect him to do that.
yeah, so like you see the glee in his eyes when he is terrifying. It's because it's not about slashing. The like again, like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre is about slashing, but he's about scaring his victim, and it's that's the thing that makes it creepy. Like it crosses over from being a slasher movie to feel like true crime. Because you're like, oh damn, like he's a serial killer, and we find out later in the series what he is, and I'm gonna keep that till we get to where it's revealed. But like, he like
Very
he just
sadistic.
yeah he loves to see their pain. And so one of the things that's interesting is he takes the final girl, the one that I believe looks like Nev Campbell, and you believe looks like Jenna McCarthy, the
Jenna Ortega.
Ortega.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, yeah, sorry.
A better looking Jenna Ortega. I really don't like Jenna Ortega, but in the face they kind of
Oh
look
my
similar
god!
to me.
And did you see she like had work done, and it looks bad.
Oh,
It looks bad.
she,
Really
dude.
bad.
I know this is off topic,
It's
but
off topic.
I don't know if
I
you've
didn't
ever.
put anything.
I don't know if you've ever seen the fucking movie The Wall, the Pink Floyd's The Wall.
Yeah, but I was really tripping, so I don't know how much I'm gonna be able to share. But
All
okay.
I can say is when that dude shaves his eyebrows and he's doing the Nazi shit, and it's like it looks just like her. I think I made a post on TikTok about it. Like
Oh my God.
there was like a bunch of pictures of Jenna Ortega, and then I like faded into that, and I'm like, tell me it don't look the same.
Oh my
This looks
God.
ridiculous. she has like the fucking chiseled jaw now and shit, and her eyebrows are gone.
I don't like like girl. I don't. Maybe she's how. I don't know. There's a lot of like sex, like people who are too sexy get a lot of attention, and maybe she's trying to desexify herself. That's just a supposition to be like, stay away from me, stop talking to me, please. I don't know, but it is pretty.
She's like,
extreme,
fuck
and I'm
it, leave me alone.
Yeah, just you want me to look like a freak? I'm a freak. Get the fuck away from me. I will bite you. Which is cool. I guess if that's where she's going with her personality, more power to her. But I don't know. I was like, damn. So, like, one of the things,
So
right
you said
before,
like at the end he did something to her. I forget. She killed him at the end of the first one.
so hey,
But
yeah, there's some interesting things that happened, but this is the thing about him terrifying, right? Is he uses, and this is one of your favorite moments. He uses her friend, strings her up naked by her ankles, and then takes a saw to her, and of
while
course.
looking at her,
Yeah,
like it ain't even
and
about the
that's the
person he's
thing.
killing.
Yeah, he's sawing a woman in half, but he's watching the reaction of the girl he's tied to the chair. And that's a really graphic scene because, of course, Damien Leone I'm probably saying his name wrong. Is is
No,
is
you're
a
doing it
special,
right, dude.
is it?
It's Italian as fuck.
Okay, so that's what it looked like he was saying, but I hadn't heard it out loud. So, but like he's a special effects guy. So she's screaming and the saw is attached to her and there is no cut. And then he starts cutting and she's screaming. And so you see the body splitting and he's just like, oh my God, right? Like it's amazing special effects. But then you see that the Terrifier is not watching the special effects like you are and being horrified. He's looking at you, the viewer, and taking in the same horror that the one strapped in the chair is. And I was like, oh, dude, he's playing on levels.
So like at a
Like it's
viewer
like the writer,
perspective,
yeah, the writer.
you're watching that happen. You're like, oh my fucking, and then you look to a little bit to the left, and you see what he's doing. You're like, oh, he's a sick fuck, and then you can't keep your like you don't even know what to look at because you're like that looks creepy. He's being weird, and then you got her getting chopped from her fucking pussy down to her fucking head, and they show it all.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
I'm like,
it doesn't cut. Keeps
I'm like,
going.
So you can rewatch it actually.
Yeah,
That's rewatchability because you can watch that part or that part.
Well, and that's the thing about this movie is that I'm going to say that I wouldn't have noticed unless you'd call it out as like being a really good movie. Is he is writing on levels. There's tons of metaphor all through his movie that represents the things that are going on. It's like a literal and a figurative situation. It's pretty cool, and it goes on. Like later in the films, he plays into a lot more too. Which I just have like mad respect for. It says he's doing it on purpose, and it wasn't like an accident. They just accidentally achieved that. But yeah, so that's like, so he's picked this girl, and then he like gives her a chance to get out or whatever, and she starts fighting it. I doubted at first that he was going to be able to saw her in half because I didn't think he was that strong until I realized he's constantly lugging around that bag, and it doesn't seem to weigh anything at all.
Well, that just opened up more questions because you're like, what is this guy in general?
Yeah,
and they explain
exactly.
it more as you watch it. So like that was probably something that you're like, that's not realistic. And then in the second one,
100%.
you figure out more shit, and you're like, oh, okay, well he has super strength, I guess.
Yeah, I would say way into if you're looking at Terrifier the first one, because I understand why you said look at the last one first because you want to know all that stuff. But like if you're like just get through Terrifier because it's worth it because he takes the time to explain it and get deeper into the lore. So like it pays off, in my opinion.
Oh, you know what's really fucked up in the first one? I think it was in the first one. Remember that bitch? It was like a homeless person.
Oh yeah,
that had the fucking doll.
The doll.
And
I want to.
And I'm like, that was so a weird part because I'm like, it opens up Art being like he's trying to empathize with him, like he's a regular guy. Like there's something off with him. He's fucked up, but he can see good. But I think that is like a misdirection in the director's mind. Like he's trying to fuck with you because he's not pure at all.
Yeah, and then
he just fucking looked at the doll and he's like, oh, it's like, okay, this guy's crazy, but he has empathy for a doll. So I'm like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. This is one of the things that bothers me about this movie in particular. And there's another few moments in the other movies, the same thing, is there's things that are put in like that, like the woman in the basement. We spend a fair amount of time with her, but doesn't have a payoff. Like she's killed off screen if she's killed, and then we don't know what happens to her otherwise. There's just her fate just undetermined as far as the film's concerned. And so like I'm just like I just wanted to know, like, is he evil or does he recognize good? That's the question, right? And leaving it morally and just not morally but like ambiguous is I was definitely like oh no.
Well, you could take that in a couple different ways because that's like that could be budget wise or 100%. That could be like budget wise that he was working with what he had type of scenario, like try to make something out of nothing, which that could be where that was because they didn't have a budget, so Like
Right.
there might have been just scenarios where like we don't have enough money to show another death, but we can make a creepy fucking scene and then just insinuate something or leave it open and you don't know what's going on, and it
Right.
adds to the film. So that's kind of creative for. You gotta give respect to it for not being able to do much, because
Well, we're
when you get to
talking
the
about it,
third
right?
one, there's none of that. There's
Right,
none of that
right,
in the
right, yeah,
third one.
exactly.
It's straight kills.
We'll get to the third one. That was jumping ahead because the thing that I liked about what happens directly after the Terrifier saws the woman from crotch to throat like in half and lets her hang there is the friend
Uh-huh.
escapes, and then the Terrifier pulls a gun on her. Um,
That's not a normal slasher.
I know, fucking loved it so much. I just laughed my ass off. It was like, oh yeah, he could really fucking do anything. And then she decides to start fucking with him, which is like the stupidest thing. And then he just unloads on her. He's like, no, wrong choice. Bam, 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 bam. I was like, oh motherfucker. Fuck, you fucking did it. And then that's also like across that line where like slasher films are fun, can never really happen. Body counts that high never occur. And then he does stuff like that where he just breaks like what a slasher film is supposed to be, where he's like, no, I'm here for killing. What did you expect?
It's almost like the director had a love for action films and was like, we need a gun.
We need
a gun scene. Like, I've watched a lot of Lethal Weapon, and I want him to pull a fucking 44 out. Can we do that?
They're like,
Can we have that happen?
It's your movie, Damien. You do it. So.
He's like, what's the budget? Blanks? Let's go. That's all I gotta do is get blanks.
Yeah, he's like, okay, so
cool.
we're gonna have to pay someone to be on set to do that, the wrangling. We have to have safe guns, safe handling. Listen, Mom, I know you were gonna do that great scene where he kills you in the basement, but I just got a permit to shoot blanks, so we're gonna do that instead. Like that's where his budget went.
Really?
I mean, worth it because it's like
what if he was like,
moment.
What if that was like a real thing with his mom, and his mom was like a fucking extra, and he's like, listen, Mom, like Dad. He really likes the Expendables. I want to put a gun in it. Let's fucking do this real quick. And I'm sorry, you'll be in the next one. I promise.
I promise, Mom. But who I think she is. I think she's from The Godfather. I think it's Nora from The Godfather.
Really, I did not know that.
I think that's who it is. I might be wrong. I'd have to look it up. She looks really familiar, and if not, she's done horror movies before. Like she's an actress, and I should have looked it up before I got onto the show. God damn it. Okay, here's one of the things I was talking about that is one of the poetic moments where you get to find out that Damien knows what he's doing and he's not fucking around. The Terrifier, after he saws the girl in half, takes a selfie with her, which is the exact same thing that she forced on him at the beginning of the movie when he was being creepy.
It's a callback. I'm looking at it right now, dude. This says the first one was $35,000 to $55,000 for their budget. That is insane.
No, that's just getting the stuff there. That's that's not money you shoot a movie with. So again, bravo on them for getting because again it holds up. Like this movie holds up. This is one of my favorite movies in this series. I say it takes second place. And it's only because the second movie, he does exactly what he wants to do. It's just like Evil Dead is better than Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 is better than Evil Dead because they had a budget.
I'll give you another cool fact. Okay, so the dude, the Damien Leone, his mother that we were talking about, named him after Damien from The Omen. So she was like a horror fan.
She was a horror
fan.
So
it's like generational.
Okay. So of course, like I said, he's been studying these movies since he was a kid. I can guarantee.
I didn't know any of that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. That's fucking cool. And so of course he has a love for it because it's a love for his mom. So I definitely like him as a director. I would love to see whatever else he does also because I'm sure he can do it just as well. Because you can see this is intentional. It's not like he has to do it this way. He wants to. Which you always have to give it to some being creative and doing it on purpose.
Well, when you have such a low budget and you're not working directly with Hollywood, you can pretty much do whatever the fuck you want to do, and that's where the creativity opens up, and you don't have to ask for permission to do. Like, can you imagine them going to Paramount or Universal and like, okay, so listen, I know this is crazy, but I want to saw a bitch in half from her clit to her fucking head, okay, and it's gonna be cool. It's gonna my bad.
That's not gonna sell. You're gonna have to take that out. Listen, Damon, you have a great concept. Let me purchase that, and I'm gonna put it on a desk, and we might talk about it in an upcoming meeting. How's that? I'm gonna pencil you in for Saturday next week. So let's talk about the next part of the movie, because it took that interesting twist where he killed off what was perceived to be the final girl, which I love that he did that, because it's definitely an intentional move, because it says that we're not playing by the rules of this genre, although we're representing it. So like once he did that, I was on for the ride, because I was like, all right, you're going places that I've never seen something go, so let's do it. And that's what the Terrifier is. It's definitely the most cutting edge slasher I have seen that's come out.
Definitely.
I haven't seen one in a minute. I mean, like,
there hasn't been any.
There hasn't been any.
What's the last one?
The older genres that are callbacks to those aren't living up to this one. So you
could say Saw because they're reboot, but that wasn't even like the old Saws. It was much slower and dramatic, and there hasn't. I can't even think of one.
Damien has seen Saw, and so he knows what people like from those movies, and he puts them in Terrifier. So if you like Saw, you will like Terrifier, because like he makes it smart.
He's like combining multiple movies, like Halloween and fucking Saw.
Yeah. I called that out when I was watching it, because I was realizing that Terrifier is like, that's what he was doing, was mixing genres like that, like Halloween and Saw, like the classic slasher stalker movie. And then with Saw, and then he does it later with the other movies too. There's 3 has a bunch of movies in it. You can see all of his homages, because he like goes whole hog. The one problem I had is that when they switched to the sister, I couldn't figure out why she would explore the garage. Like, I understand from a director's point of view, who has just that one set, you have to get her in there. But it was just like it went on, because she had to be like, hello. Are you there?
It's it's like it doesn't seem very realistic, but like that. But honestly, the people I grew up with, they are that stupid. They are legitimately so stupid that they would do something like that. Okay. But then that's like an homage to all the horror movies that you're like.
Also, right.
If you've ever been to a horror movie in a theater with black people, they get so ramped up because they know. We all know. What are you doing? Don't open the fucking door, dude. Oh, you dead. You're dead. You're dead. She hasn't even opened the door yet. You're dead. You're fucking dead. I fucking told you, yelling at the screen like it's going to change the film. And that's how it is. That's been in horror movies forever.
Let me tell you, that is the reason that I went to go see John Wick 4 in a place that I knew was going to be predominantly black, because they get fucking hyped, and I wanted to see John Wick in a place where people were getting fucking hyped. Yeah, dude. Like, the person sitting next to me was like killing wings and being like, "Go get him, boy!" It was just like, yeah. It was like
they get into it, man.
Yeah, it was so fun. Oh my god, the place was packed, like just wall to wall, and like people just freaking out. No, that's why going to the movies is still fun. I wish we had the ability to do that more.
It's the equivalent to fucking Endgame, where Cap picks up the hammer, bro. That's the theater went wild, and there were, like, even in the new the Spider-Man, when all the Spider-Men get together, there was dialogue that I had to wait to buy the Blu-ray because I couldn't hear it. It was so loud. They're talking, whoa, and I'm like, I like to listen to this, but this is dope too.
Right, exactly. It's a different event. It's not for watching the movie like solely. It's for being with the crowd of people who are watching the movie.
When you got that many fans in one spot, you have to have some expectations.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And people are there to have a good time. So it was cool. But the sister wandering around in the garage led to like one of my absolute favorite shots that was not replicated anywhere in the series, but I wanted to see more of. It like harkened back to like an early Evil Dead Sam Raimi shot. And this is the one where she's looking out of the locker through like a little peephole, and he's coming up the stairs wearing the top of the woman. He's wearing the breast of the other the woman, and he's like naked, and he's wearing her head, right? And he's just like walking around. But they shot it as like a pinhole shot, so he's like prancing. So it's definitely like Buffalo Bill, from Silence of the Lambs. And then at the same time, it's like the shot of her eye, like just like flicking all around, and it's like very classic horror. And at the same time, like it's a low budget.
Oh, you're talking about like that? You're talking about that Evil Dead where the fucking the eyeball goes in the bitch's mouth and she's That's a classic shot.
Well, so one of the things you said that is awesome about horror is that you can have like just normal things like in the right situation look scary, and he like is just filming a locker, right? That's the only shot. It's just a locker, and like it's all this dim light and this spooky music, and you just seen a shot of like the Terrifier coming up the stairs, and so like the shot of the locker is terrifying because you haven't seen
it's very ominous.
Yeah, like exactly. So you can't do that in, say, a Western, I think is what you said.
Well, I mean, you can, but it's hits different. Like the thing about horror is personal. Like, I'm never going to be a Western gunfighter ever, but I can feel it somehow because I have an ego, and I think I try to look at a movie and like, I'm that guy. I'm him. And then whatever happens, I can feel it. But when you see a horror movie, I'm not a woman. I'm not even aligned with you, but I feel like if I was trapped somewhere, like you get a feeling of like, this is realistic. This could happen to me.
And I definitely
and that's the terrifying part.
That's what he does in this movie. Like he again, like even the entertainment of it being a slasher, he kind of takes away from you momentarily because he's like, oh no, this could happen. This could happen to you. You're like, damn, dude, did you have to say it like that?
Makes you watch out for weirdos. You're like, no, I'm fucking cool on that.
Right? Yeah, exactly. So she gets chased around the basement. Obviously, we find some sort of connection to what may have happened to the woman. Because we find the doll down there, and she had like a moment with her or whatever. But I loved this last couple of moments at the end of the Terrifier. So she's blocked this door, and he can't squeeze through, and he's mad about it. And so he puts his horn through the hole and honks at her.
Yeah, he's just like taunting her. He's like, I'm coming, bitch. I'm coming to get you. Give me a minute.
Yeah, exactly. He can't speak. And so he has no terrifying lines, but somehow this jubilant honking sound, which is both like fun and sinister at the same time through a fucking horn, is just like, it breaks the tension where you're like, oh shit. And then he runs her over with a car.
Do you ever think that's also fucking not like normal for slasher movies?
Right.
But do you think do you think the guy that invented the clown ever thought 100 years later it would be such a terrifying thing? Like, they did it for like carnivals and entertaining people and shit and acting goofy, and then 100 years later, no matter what, clown people, like, they just fuck with people, like, just because it's weird. It's like it's white face. It's like if a dude had blackface on, you look creepy. You look old and timed. You don't look like your current day serial killer. You look like you're ancient.
Yeah. So people love clowns when clowns enjoyed what they were doing. But the reason that people don't like clowns now is because our brains can tell the difference between someone being happy and someone pretending to be happy. So what we see is people pretending to be happy, and we believe that they're lying to us, which means this makes us feel like they have ill intent.
That could be it too, but I just think it's something with the look. It's like a smile. Smiles can be creepy without no intention, and you're just like the movie Smile. All they're doing is smiling the whole fucking movie, but you're like, you're not doing anything, but you look scary. I don't have a fear of clowns. I think they look really cool and shit, but I know plenty of friends that they just get fucked with it like that. I don't want to, and it might have been one movie, like It, that just ruined it for them. They're like, nope, you look fucking, nope, fuck that. That was a terrifying one with the fucking teeth and shit. They just ruined clowns for people.
Well, and that's the reason that Terrifier is terrifying, is because he's smiling, but he's not happy. And the reason, well, actually, he is happy, and the reason he's happy is not reasons that you want him to be happy. That's what makes Terrifier
the one
scary.
thing I like is because he snaps. He can go from one to another in an instant. Like, he'll be smiling, jokey, honking the clown, and just drop the smile and like, I'm about to fuck you up. And I'm like, that's kind of cool. You have That actor's awesome. I love the dude that does the acting for it because it's so like he's just happy and go lucky. Like they're almost parodying a clown, and then like the bitch will say something to him like, "Oh, this fucking clown," he just fucking dies inside. He's like, "Nope,
like, alrighty then.
You're about to die, bitch.
Yeah,
I don't like you."
That's yeah, especially in the second and third movies. Like you see this development, which I do really appreciate with him. Like for one, he gets the name. We just know that he's not he has this like really generic name at first, the serial killer of Mulberry Street or something like that, Mayberry. I'm a bad fan for not knowing that. Oh, okay, but let's wrap up film one really quick before we move on to two and three, because I do love the character development of two and three. But here's the thing that I love most about the end of Terrifier one. So he hits her with the car, the cops come in, and then he pulls a gun on himself and shoots himself.
Yeah, that's very off the wall.
The end of Terrifier one.
No, like, that ain't the end though, right?
Well,
it don't end like that, does it?
No.
They like unzip him or something.
A credits scene. They roll him into the morgue, and you're like, of course he's coming back to life, because of course he has to come back to life because there's more movies. Well, why wouldn't you?
But once you see it, because like it turns kind of like into a Halloween thing. But I don't remember if Halloween ended like that. I think it picked up on Halloween 2 when he vanishes. So the first one right off the bat, you know this is weird. It's supernatural now. He shot himself in the fucking head. His head is still fucked up in the morgue, and he's still alive. So it's like he's something else. He's a demon. He's something.
Yeah, that's how Terrifier 2 starts, and I really, really appreciate it. Terrifier 1 ends. It could be a
just
clean
picks
break.
Up.
Yeah, it could be a clean break. He's in the morgue. They mentioned that he's the killer. There's some other people that was killed. And I think like maybe the bag moved or something like that. It's like very, but like that's it. But like
subtle. Or just like a close up on his face, like go right into his face. But no, they went and showed it. They're like, nope, this guy's different. You're gonna see. There's another one.
And so that he was like the kind of serial killer who's not even trying to survive. That's the part that I was like, dang. He's like, no, I'll take myself out. Don't sweat it. That it makes
or he just knows he can't die. Like he just like Halloween, kind of really like Halloween if you think about it, because Michael Myers doesn't talk.
Okay,
and he's invincible.
Right.
So and he kind of has a clown mask on, sort of.
You're actually. Like, I was wondering what the slasher movie that was closest to, and I think you're hitting on it. I'd go with Halloween also. Oh, it definitely has. I mean, that I would have to argue is the most classic '80s movie. Jamie Lee Curtis running from like a slasher.
Well, Halloween hits both, because it was in the 70s with the first, 80s in the second.
Right,
so they hit both decades. But like Friday the 13th, 80s, Freddy, 80s. Then you have a bunch of fucking knockoffs like Sleepaway Camp and
I forgot to mention that last week when we were talking about it. I love Sleepaway Camp. It's so fucking cheesy. And then also it's pretty good. It's like remarkably good.
What's that one where it's like a sorority house and it's a dude that is killing people with a drill? And I'm like, and it works, but I'm like, this is like the bottom of the barrel. It really don't do shit compared. And then like, how does that make the director feel? Because he like probably like got this guy, you look fucking creepy, you look good, you can talk, you have a weird voice, and then you get topped by a dude in a hockey mask, and you're like, fuck. You know?
Right, yeah, exactly. He did always come in second, and that that's unfortunate. That's just, it seems like he had more backing.
But yeah, Halloween, that sounds about the most similar like style of person. Not really like it's a mix, like you said, but like the clown look and the no voice and invincible, it matches up. But he's Jason very eccentric. He's dancing and shit.
Jason uses improvised weapons too. Like he doesn't always kill in the same way.
Exactly. So he ain't exact. Well, Halloween does too, because like he kills people with whatever's around. Like he put the bitch in a fucking hot tub and drowned her.
Oh my god!
So it ain't always that knife.
I always confuse those two. I'm so sorry. Yeah.
Or like the newer ones, definitely. He'll just. I remember that one. My favorite Halloween is that Halloween Kills, and I'm like, really goes with the name because the whole movie he's just killing people in crazy ways. Like the fucking black bitch that is in the back seat and she has the gun and the door's open and she's about to shoot him and all he does is just kick the fucking door, break her hand, and she shoots herself in the face. I'm like,
my God.
I'm like, that whole movie, every fucking scene. That's my favorite Halloween because it's
Really?
nonstop the
That's
whole
awesome.
way.
I kind of lost on the franchise. I've seen all the classic ones, of course. And I think I
Gotta watch that one.
like
The
reboot, but
newest
yeah.
one sucks.
Okay.
The Kills one is awesome if you haven't
Alright.
seen that one.
Fair.
But yeah.
Okay, so let's get
But
into
yeah.
Terrifier 2. Because we're almost through the first hour and we're getting to Terrifier 2. Good times. Let me take a quick break real quick and just call it you listen to a Cots in Space podcast. This is Flicking with Skip, where we work on the animation for Cots in Space. Here with co-host Curtis Wolff, and we're talking about the Terrifier series. If you want to catch up with us, you absolutely can do that. You can go to coxinspace.com. That's coxinspace.com. When you're there, you can get a link to the Discord and come hang out with us 7 nights a week. See what's going on with Cox in Space and talk about all the fun stuff that we talk about up here. You can also vote this month on your favorite show that's coming out in August. We're going to pick our favorite for August. And you get to hang out with us in the green room before the podcast starts and then afterwards when we hang out with our guests after. So you get to do all those things if you're joining us in the Discord. Also, if you're on YouTube, you can like, comment, share, of course. Thank you so much. We do watch that and we do comment with you guys. And you can also get connected with our Patreon. We'll cover that at the end of the show. But now we're going to get back to talking about Terrifier and Terrifier 2 specifically. This is what I love about that movie, is that it picks up in the exact place that first movie ended. Like he was just like, oh yeah, this is part 2 of 1. Actually, we just have more money than we now we can continue this movie.
Yeah, very Halloween-esque with that because it's literally like one big ass movie. 1 and 2 is just one big movie.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I love it. And he got a lot more kills in 2. I'm looking at the list right now. There's more kills in 2 that were much more extravagant.
Oh yeah, I mean, they go
so many.
Yeah. There's some of my, like the ones I'm definitely appreciate the first one, the body being sawed in half, but there's definitely, you see how he likes to torture in this movie more than he likes killing, because he definitely goes. I have way more notes on Terrifier 2 because it is my absolute favorite of the franchise than Terrifier 1, because it's just like, oh my God, he goes for it. So first of all, let's talk about the poetic shots in the first opening sequence. So one of them is that they get blood on the muscle charts, which is just a funny joke, because that's where blood goes. And then the second one is that he dissects in the first couple of minutes of the movie a mortician who is a dissector. So his first kill is just like this ironic one, where a guy who usually takes people apart, he's getting taken apart in the place that he takes people apart. So I don't know why that struck me so hard, but I just laughed my ass off because that's how the movie was kicking off. And I was like, hell yes, let's do it. And then, of course, the soundtrack kicked in too. And I was like, yeah, boy, like Terrifier 2. I'm also going to
it wasn't a surprise
at 7:30 in the morning. So that's when I was young.
Oh my.
Yeah, boy. So I woke up, I was like,
everyone's waking up. They're like, what the fuck?
What the fuck are you doing, bro? Terrifier 2's on that.
They come out.
Yeah.
They come out and see a dude in a morgue getting fucking diced and sliced.
yeah, exactly. It's like, bro, just go back to bed. Don't do this before coffee.
But by the second one, you kind of expect it, though. You kind of expect it. Like, you saw where it left. You're like, okay, fucking, you know what's about to happen. And you just don't know how it's going to happen.
Yeah, so you had some really cool, like, casual kills that I wanted to shout out in the first movie. Like, the pizza guy had flames inside of his skull in the first movie. But this one is like, they're like, no, you don't just get the shot afterwards. It was very quick shots, but that was a good shot because he was like stabbing that dude in the fucking head, and I'm like, what the fuck, man? He doesn't give a fuck. I'm like thinking about it realistically because it's like the first death. I'm like, if you're a criminal, bro, you are off the walls. You didn't wipe anything down. You didn't do anything. Yeah,
you just fucking go in there.
Does not care.
Yeah.
He's not applying, like he's an animal. And then we find out something that's really interesting about the Terrifier also, so we can open up this can of worms, because this is where they show us where it's at. He puts himself back together with pieces from the guy he's tearing apart. the eye he gets is from the doctor, and the brain he's missing is from the doctor. And so he's like, his power is like Frankenstein. And I don't think
Or
I've
you know what
seen
I would
that
say?
as a person's
You know what I
power
would say?
before. What is it?
I would say he's more like Jeepers Creepers because he's a demon, right? And he did the same
spoilers.
thing.
That's Terrifier 3. But yeah, that's what we find out. Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
I mean,
okay.
technically, if you shoot yourself in the head and live,
Mhm.
you're something else.
Well,
you know?
no, absolutely, but it remains a mystery until Terrifier 3, which means you have to sit there another 2 hours. So it was
Well, that's almost like Jeepers Creepers in that way because you don't really know what the fuck
What he
but he
is.
just put an eyeball in his fucking head and grew. Or he cut, like, remember when his head got decapitated in Jeepers Creepers 2 and he just took that kid's head, swallowed it, and it regrew a head? That's what I think, kind of.
You're calling it out. Yeah, this is the tribute that he's making. Like he is doing all the genres. It's so funny. Like, because he's like,
when you dissect it
again,
you're like, oh shit,
you're like, oh, that's definitely where he got it from. That's that. I mean, because of course you watch that as well. So it's really fucking cool. Now we're gonna get into one of my favorite moments, and actually I have a video clip I'm excited to share with you. That's okay.
All good.
What happens right after he kills the doctor and takes the pieces of it is everything kind of comes to a lull, and he goes to the laundromat. And this hits on one of my other little favorite things about the clown is that he does normal everyday things. We get to see him, and this one he just strips down and takes his clothes off and puts them in the washer. But later we see him take a drink of water to catch his breath after doing some murdering, eat some cookies, make dinner. So it's just he spends a lot of time. He's he doesn't just appear to kill, you know what I mean? He's up to stuff at the same time.
He's just a human, kind of. That's another empathy thing where you're like, he's like me. Because if I were to kill someone and I was in a house and they had fresh cookies, I'd probably eat a fucking cookie. But the cookie that he ate had fucking blood all over it. So it's like, he still puts it in craziness. He's still crazy, but he's doing normal shit while doing crazy shit.
Again, that's the level that it goes that makes it extra creepy. Is it's it becomes sort of like true crime because you're like, no, but he's a little bit real. And then they take this twist. Then this is where the clip is. Tell me when I switch over. Actually, I can double check this. Can you see that on the clip? Yeah. Okay, you can. So here
is it on the stream?
Yeah, here's the clip. Are you on the stream?
Yeah.
He's in the laundromat. He's stripped down. He's naked. He sees this. And then this. And then oh my god. This is the introduction of this main character for this episode. I mean for this and then they stare at each other like this and he fucking smiles back. Oh my god. What the fuck? And it was at this moment, this is fairly early. This is in the first 15 minutes or so. I laughed my ass off. I was so creeped out. And then at the same time, delighted at the disgustingness of what was happening, and then terrified that there's a girl terrifying, a little kid terrifying. So, of course, at this point, it's 7:45 in the morning. I'm like, oh my god.
Well, when I seen that was just another sign. I'm like, this guy has lost his goddamn mind. If he ain't,
you know what happens is it cuts back and you see the girl's not fucking there at all.
Yeah, so you're and he's just laughing. Yeah. And I'm like, yep, he's fucking, but you later find out he might be talking to another dimension or some shit.
Well,
but in that moment, you don't know that.
You don't know. Yeah.
The fuck?
Well, you have.
Yeah, that was a good scene. Yeah, I forgot about that.
We'll leave it unspoiled, but I think that's resolved in the Terrifier 3 also. That just a theory because it's not really spelled out. But yeah, no. So that's one of the things that's terrifying is that you see the Terrifier having this horrible vision of this girl, and it's the one thing he doesn't kill, but it's as gross as he is and as terrifying as he is. And then you find out that he is just disassociating in the laundromat, and you're like, oh yeah, that could be me. I could be disassociating in the laundromat, and you're like, no, what the fuck? I have nothing to do with this character. So like again, the director writer is just like he walks this very nice line between these two things, and it's not accidental because he keeps doing it. So like that's why like I was like with Terrifier 2, I was like this, he's just we're in good hands, right? Like the person who's doing commentary on 80s slasher movies knows what he's talking about.
That actually reminds me because I'm not too fresh on Terrifier 2, but I'm slowly remembering a lot of the scenes. I'm much more fresh on 3, but there is a scene in 2 that is just like 3, which we'll get to. But when he's in that laundromat with the fucking little kid, and he's like laughing and shit, the fucking janitor comes by and I think like fucks with him, like, who the fuck you talking to? You don't get to see it, but like I think you see it later. He's like the dude had like a mop head in his fucking
yes,
head.
Yes, no, that's it. So, and that's just what I was going to call out. I'm glad you remembered. It's in Terrifier 2. And so the dude is sleeping in the chair, and then he wakes up to look at the clown, and that's where we get the perspective that there is no girl clown, and nothing happens between the two of them. Like the Terrifier just walks out, and you see that the mop handle has been stuck from the top of his head through his mouth. You can see it in his mouth, and the spike is resting on his chest. It's like amazing special effects, and it's nothing more than, it's like the same thing with the pizza guy with the flame in his eyes. It's nothing more than this, like it cuts to the Terrifier walking out, and the dude looks like that, and that's just the way that it is. There's like no like, it's like fantastic. You did the work, you put in the work, and it paid off.
With little explanation, very quick.
Well, you don't
like,
need it.
oh, yep.
That's what Terrifier is
like,
doing. Like he disassociates and he's wearing a brand new costume, so he's off to killing again. That's what he's going to do. Like what you wouldn't expect anything else. And then we meet Sienna, who is the final girl. And her little brother, which is the introduction to Terrifier 2. And this is like, so it's interesting how Terrifier 1 and Terrifier 2 are like, at part A and part B, but then the Sienna storyline is like part A here and then part B in Terrifier 3. Like, because they introduced her here and then the storyline like picks up there. I don't even think it's the end of the story. I mean, obviously it doesn't, because we'll spoil it at the end. The initial thing that bothered me. Sorry.
I don't know if he had a plan. I don't know if he had a plan for that. I don't know if any of this was planned or he just got dumb luck and just kept going.
It is. Yeah, like he definitely left some things open so he could, and then he went and explored those. But yeah, what do you think that is?
Yeah, which is, well, I don't know. I think it's probably just he didn't know if it was going to hit. I don't think he really knew. Right, I think I've seen some interviews where he just didn't. Yeah, you just fucking do shit and see if it works, and it did, and. Well, I fucking made this story. I left someone alive. Let's give her a family, give her a little brother and parents, or I don't even think she has parents. Well, I think it's her uncle and aunt.
Girl, well, that's second to third, but the girl who survives in episode 1 to episode, or part 1 to part 2, is the faceless woman. So she's the final girl because that's the sister of the girl that I thought looked like Neve Campbell, and then we find out that she's a murderer, and then they introduce Sienna as like this new final girl. So I thought at first it was interesting that they killed off and maimed the two people who could have saved the day in the first one. That was a really interesting way to approach a slasher film. And then they do like introduce this girl, and I wasn't sure if she was going to get killed, and then we'll get to it, but the way that they opt out of doing both is really interesting. But the first thing that bothered me is that they never really talk about how old she is, but she's living with her mom and she has this little brother, and she seems to be going to school, but she's obviously almost 30.
I would assume she's a college student by her looks.
Maybe so.
Mid-20s, something like that. Yeah, because she's sexy and she looks young. She don't look like she's a mom, but she looks like an older woman.
For sure. But then her mom's still bossing her around. So that's why, like, it feels like she's a kid and she's still, like, making food for them and everything. So, like...
Well, that just shows about, like, the lifestyle nowadays, because a lot of people don't leave home for a while. So sometimes you fucking make food for your little brother and have to hear your mom bitch about getting a career. They don't really dive into that, though. They could have. They don't really talk about that. Ever.
Yeah, no,
I think they end up dying before you get to see anything like that.
It's not really clear, because I kept trying to figure out if I could figure out what the answer was, but I never really got a clear answer, and it wasn't important in the end. I don't think that he missed something by not telling us what school she was in and what her grades were and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but
I feel like they did that more in the third because they had a lot more to work with. I think the second they wanted to do this first but better, and then the third I feel like they just went balls out. They showed the brother in college and shit. And we'll talk about it in a second, but they did more set scenes.
They definitely
Like
you can tell that budget is all over that movie because they just, I mean, they're at places, they've got vehicles, there's like everything's well lit, like all this stuff that costs money. 100%. The sound is good.
But a lot of the kills in the second are like there's a lot of mutilation. I'm looking at the list. This guy gets stabbed in his eye with a beer bottle, and that's cool. And then gets decapitated with a meat cleaver.
Yeah.
Next
and
one gets
his head is used
he fucking
as
gets
a display.
Yeah, which is cool. And then the other person gets scalped with scissors and then stabbed to death. Then cut their fucking head off. And then the next gets decapitated. And then the next gets shot with a shotgun. I can kind of count that as decapitation.
Yeah, that's the mom. It's funny because it's a sawed-off shotgun that comes out of nowhere. Somebody has eggs and toilet paper in her car. And then she like cleans it off, and it's Art sitting in the front seat with a sawed-off shotgun, and he's just smiling. He just pulls the trigger and blasts the head off. It's like, what the fuck? What is this movie?
I don't remember this death, but I want to rewatch it just to see this because I don't remember it at all. It says this guy got stabbed 9 times in the groin and then got his penis ripped off.
Oh yeah,
and I don't remember that at all.
It's towards the end of the movie. The dude's out taking a piss, and you're like, "Oh, you whipped your dick out in a horror movie. It's coming off," and he does. And then, of course, the whole movie is really graphic. So, a fun time.
It's a great movie. That's the second just added to it. I feel like they did more of the same. But
let me ask you.
Obviously, first one was great too.
As a general question, what do you think about the special girl backstory that was introduced in the second movie and then carries on into the third movie?
I feel like you said, kind of cheesy and rushed, but that's not the point of the movie.
Well, they spend
it's just a template,
Yeah.
At points, but not that much time. Like if you look at Halloween with Laurie Strode, you get a long time to look at her high school life, her walk home, her parents and her siblings and the people she's babysitting. Like you get a lot of time that I feel like is important, where the Terrifier movies, they give you little fucking details here and there, little nudges, but they don't really go into a deep story or chemical, or not chemical, but chemistry. Like they don't really have chemistry. They're just there. None of them really are synced up or anything.
The special girl thing is that she has a destiny that was chosen before she was born. That her father.
That was also very odd. And they did the fucking he was an art guy and he wrote comic books or some shit. And I'm like, it feels a little forced without enough to it, without enough context.
That was why I was wondering if there was a backstory movie that had explained that previously, and that's where they were going that angle. Yeah, no, okay, so it just, and they do spend a lot of time on it. Like there's a whole dream where she's inducted. There's the wings that she's building, the armor that burn. There's a sword that she's armed with. Now that he eventually takes control of, and then is a thing that decapitates him at the end. So
that reminded me a lot of the Halloween from Rob Zombie, the second one, where fucking Michael Myers is in another dimension talking to a bitch on a horse, and I'm like totally out of context and not fitting the movie, but you just kind of accept it. Like the bitch kills Art with a magic fucking Skyrim sword, and it's fine.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
I don't care, but it's totally fucking cheesy. At the end of the day.
Yeah. But. So again, and then that does carry over to 3. So she has this destiny that they have to have her live up to. So the franchise, it's an interesting thing that's taken that direction.
Well, building
this
something.
Is the one. Sorry. This is Terrifier 2 is the one where they introduced the concept of dream warriors, right? the same thing, which is a Freddy concept.
Yep. And I don't know how I feel about it.
Same. Like, again, I know that it's a trope of the 80s, and so it's totally appropriate. But at the same time, I'm like, that's like every fantasy genre has that, and it just, it's weird.
They didn't do it terribly, but it was very random in my opinion for the franchise. But I mean, it can work if you do it right. Especially like the third one had a bigger budget. They could do better. They could do it better. But now with the fourth one being a bigger budget, now we can maybe see something that's really fleshed out, and not just like kind of a rushed scenario to start off the premise. Basically, that's what it was. It was just a hint at something.
Yeah, it would be nice if they covered the father and how the father is connected to the original clown killer or whatever that is, and how he knows this stuff. Because I think that
what
would
if
be
he
a
killed
cool
him?
Story. Ooh,
Yeah, what if he fucking killed him? What if he like sentenced him to hell or some shit? You know?
Right.
Yeah, like that would be really cool.
So,
and we are. He's the only one we haven't seen. Everybody else is dead, so it's like it's her and her dad.
Well, yeah,
they could do something with that.
Again, shows up.
Do some flashbacks.
Yeah, exactly. There's. I mean, they've done some in 3 where they kind of like call to his ears, but the first time they do, it's like, who the fuck is this guy? We've never seen this guy before. Why am I supposed to trust him? I don't trust anybody in this movie.
Oh yeah, dude.
Because the first thing that we've seen before we saw that is her going to the fucking clown cafe. Where you of course remember the clown cafe, right? Where they have a whole theme song and everybody's singing. The adults are acting like crazy kids. This is what you're talking about, where he gives them candy and stuff, and he's acting all nice, but it ends up with him like spraying down the whole place with a Tommy gun.
And wasn't there a monkey or something, or am I thinking of a different movie? I remember. There's like a TV sitcom or some shit. Like there were it's like a TV show, and he's just like
the dream is on a TV set. You're absolutely right. Yeah.
Yeah, that was very out of pocket. But I mean,
fucking bizarre.
It works though.
Well, it's like again, he's going like this these series of movies are off the rails. You're never gonna see what you think you're gonna see because he's gonna constantly do it. Like again, Tommy gun, Tommy gun in the clown cafe.
He just went fucking 1920s gangster on these bitches, and he's fucking laughing and just. And he don't make any noise, so he's just
So also that brings up one of the moments I love about this scene here too is that he's trying to give the final girl a present, Sienna, and she won't take it, but he like mimes that she has to take it, and so she ends up taking it. And it's one of these creepy things because he can't speak. His miming is
all body language.
Yeah, it's all body language. Diabolical. Actually, I want to cut over real quick and show you the shot because it's this what's in the box moment where it's just like it just builds and builds and builds as she's like slowly unwrapping the present and he's like laughing and like dancing around and just like it's one of these moments where like nothing is really happening, but because like we know it's something bad, it cuts over to this, which is a heart in a box. And it has maggots and worms crawling around it.
It's just like super gross.
So like the prop. So one thing I wanted to point out, I don't know if you can see it on the stream, but there's bubbles. Do you see them on the surface?
Yeah.
So that's resin, which means that they dipped an actual heart in resin. They painted an actual heart and dipped it in resin. So that's an actual probably animal's heart, like maybe a moose or something like that. It's huge.
And they had to make what they had to do, what they had.
Again, the budget, right? Like he's like, let's do some special effects, and there's earthworms in there, of course. But that's one of them.
And it's just disgusting, and she's just looking at it like, oh.
Yeah, exactly. It like finally builds up and then cuts to that moment. You're like, oh God, why? I was not expecting to see that right now. Like, even though the whole movie is gross. And then, of course, he hijacks another trope in the clown scene, which is the jigsaw trike. This is the first time we see him ride the trike in a circle. Oh wait, maybe not. Maybe it's a callback to when he was doing it in the warehouse in Terrifier.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can't name a favorite scene from Terrifier 2. Like they're all about equal. They all
well,
hit the
it's all like like the same movie. Let me show you my favorite shot. Can I show you my favorite shot?
Yeah, go ahead.
And this is it. There's a homeless guy that's next to a nun, and it's absolutely my favorite shot in the movie because of his expression. Which they just got this one dude, and they're like, "Hey, we're gonna pay you $20." And they're like, "What?" And then like he's like, "Play a homeless guy." He's like, "Motherfuckers, you fucking pieces of shit. Yeah, I'll show up in your fucking movie." Just love it. Anyway, so this
I'd
man's
agree to it.
Yeah, exactly. I had to do it.
Like, I'm down. Fuck it.
Of course, then that's when her wings burn, and there's a whole metaphor of like, she's an angel that's under trial of
Lost her
fire.
wings, kind of.
Yeah, exactly. And so again, this is where I'm saying like he's not a slouch when he's a writer. Like the symbology, or the symbolism there is it's there. Like it's like rampant. He's like showing it as a visual metaphor. And doing it intentionally.
Am I wrong that in Terrifier 2, it was either 2 or 3 where like it's hinted at that she might pass on to be the next, like, take over the reins? I can't remember if that was in 2 or 3, or I'm just making something up.
3 has a really interesting supposition along that line, because that's when they start discovering what the demons and the demon powers are and stuff like that. Yeah, and I definitely want to get into that, because that reveals what the like faceless woman's deal is, and that again, I love that he finally had that payoff.
Yep, definitely. But I mean, her story would be a really crazy plot twist if she like became his herald, kind of like she kills the faceless bitch to get her brother back, but to get her brother back to this dimension, she has to be his herald, like be with him, and then she gets fucking deformed, turns into a demon too or some shit.
That's
like gets crazy power.
And it wouldn't be beyond the scope of the movie, because I mean he killed the final girl in the first one. What is it if he's just leading us on for this one?
Yeah. Like he's gonna do something unexpected.
Yeah.
Like it defy expectations is the goal of a horror director.
Especially
surprise.
Because he knows all the tropes. So maybe he's leading stuff like, oh yeah, she's gonna win, and then actually the way that she wins is become that monster. It's a possibility.
Can you imagine if he's watching all these podcasts and all the reviews, and he's just like, you don't know what the fuck I'm about to do, bitch. You think that? Nope.
It might be that he's like, well, we'll see what happens when the money comes in. I mean, if somebody pays me to write that story, I'm gonna write a story. But right now it's all supposition. Just raking, Terrifier 3 money. One of the things that bothered me a lot,
next one I think comes out next year.
Really? I would be excited to see it. Yeah. But he makes all the moms and adult female figures like super bitchy. And like they're all so mean.
It's like this is personal, isn't it? This is a little personal.
That's exactly. That's why I'm like, you don't like women so much. I'm gonna spoil it because it doesn't really spoil anything. But in the third movie, he has a wife say to a husband, "You were right, honey," even though we know that he is not right. And so then you're like, oh, this is a fantasy movie. Yeah, I knew it. It's just an a male fantasy. He's living out his dreams right now.
He's just putting what he wants on screen.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's also like 80s cringe too. Like he could just be like, I want to bring some of the 80s back. Let's do this cringy dialogue again, just for fun.
For fun. Right. He's like, John Waters got to do it. I can do it. But I was thinking that maybe he actually wrote those characters as like male characters initially, and then recast them as female characters. And so things that like a dad who had his wife die could get away with, like a mom can't. So I don't know. I would like to hear what his take on that was, to ultimately know, what he meant by those things.
I think
it does seem personal.
I think anybody can be a bitch or a dick. Like, that's just a character trope.
Right.
Like an archetype, like a fucking asshole dad. Maybe he has an asshole dad, and he didn't want to see another asshole dad. be gravitas on the screen. He's
Maybe
like,
so,
let's
maybe
let the
so.
mom be a bitch. My mom was nice. I want to see something different.
Maybe so. Yeah, some
Who
of the
knows?
dialogue from the mom is what the fuck? You are so fucking stupid. And I was like, oh my god. Like I could have put up with her if she had slapped her kid, but for some reason, like, like destroying her verbally was like the end. And I was like, I can't. Somebody kill this
Do you think
woman.
that's also the motive? Is that like horror directors want to make a character dislikable, so when they die, you also kind of get like, hey, I'm fucking, fuck yeah.
Oh yeah,
They
hell yeah.
deserved it.
When her head got shot out through the shotgun, I was stoked.
You're
I
like,
was waiting for
finally,
her to
bro.
get killed.
Damn.
So hard because I was like, nah, you're like just so fucking mean. Like you need y'all need to be the
Mm-hmm.
And then she's like, why can't you believe me? And then the dialogue is because. Like, again, so fucking mean. Like, there's no reason. Your daughter who's in college cannot be trusted.
Why don't you believe me? Because. Like, he didn't add another line. You're stupid.
Right? Yeah, exactly.
You're
I mean,
delusional.
the
He
original
could have put in
script
any
probably
line.
had, yeah, but they're like, that's going a little far, don't you think?
You're like, let's just put because and
Yeah, just because we're gonna leave it at that. Oh my god, creepy as fuck. Like she's so mean. They do have another little bit in this, like right after that sequence where there's a dead possum at school. And one of the things that we can skip most of the interaction because it's not great. It doesn't really add anything. But the kid sees them eating the possum in the hallway and playing with the dead possum in the hallway. And again,
that was a little didn't really give a fuck about that scene. You know,
but they're just so
like
creepy.
it was. I think
They're
it
so
depends
happy
on
about being sick.
I think it depends on your level of animal love. Like if you love animals, that's gonna hit you hard.
Fair,
I love
okay,
animals, but I don't get like fucked up when I see a dead animal on screen. Like my girlfriend
It
hates
wasn't.
Like
It wasn't the dead animal itself. It was the fact that they were laughing while they're chewing through the rotting guts of a
that too.
possum.
Yeah,
That was the.
just like playing with it.
So
They're like,
sickening and visceral. Like I'm just like, oh goddamn, and then giggling. Like they're both silently giggling. It's what makes Terrifier super creepy to me. Like
Dude,
it's like that shit.
You bring up. I want to just say something off topic real quick because it reminded me of it. If you watch that new Firestorm, I think it's called Firestorm with fucking dude from High School Musical. What the fuck's his name? What the fuck is that guy's name?
Anyway, they about High School Musical. Sorry.
That was like his biggest fucking movie. That was a start.
Like Zach.
Yeah, Zach Efron. He was in like the reboot for Firestorm, and there's a scene where she's trying to like learn her fire powers, and it felt like they meant to make a serious scene because she's like outside. There's a cat, and she accidentally sets the cat like flames just. But it's so serious, and I just laughed my dick off, and my girlfriend's like. She's like, that's so bad. I'm like, that is fucking random, and it's like they're taking it seriously. Like right. The dad like takes her away, like, oh my god. Like I'm like just dying. I'm like, I can't believe they just did that.
Right, like
so nonchalantly.
Wow. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. For me, the actual accidental comedy in movies is really where it's at. And Terrifier does that. Like it's like they play it straight, so it doesn't seem as terrifying, but it is definitely.
There's some underlining feelings where you're like, this is fucked up. So fucked up. You got two kids playing with some fucking a possum. And that's just what you got to deal with.
Right. Yeah. That's what the content of this movie is. So Curtis, there is one scene that we actually do need to talk about a lot, or actually it's really important. I think it's really important to understand the whole entire franchise for the amount of time and effort and money that was spent on one particular scene. The shot that I'm talking about, and you're probably familiar with because you kind of referenced it earlier, was where the Terrifier is just being like a funny clown, and he's doing it in public and he's not hiding. And it's this weird stalking behavior that he has that he's just like pretending that he's a nice guy. And so the part I'm talking about is in the costume shop where she's buying those new wings, and he's trying on glasses, and he's making all these funny faces. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was really like ominous, but like just normal kind of like what you'd expect a clown to do. But that
I'm
ain't
sorry.
the one I think of the public thing though. I think of the Santa.
You might misunderstand real quick because that was just the setup. The shot that I'm talking about that is actually iconic to the entire series and understanding what it is. Because you can, in this one shot, you can see that there's careful consideration with the casting process, the wardrobe, the lighting, and with principal photography, which means that had to go through the storyboarding process as well. I'm going to pull it up for you so you can just recognize how important this shot is. Not that one, this one. So, okay. The reverse of this shot is the dude playing with clowns, but you can tell that this shot was deliberately set up to get her ass like shot because look at the little ghoul to the left hand side of the screen right here. She's like definitely like looking like ding right to the ass.
Bitch.
And then also look at the lighting. So first of all, like we know,
and he does the eyes too. He's like, hey,
doing the eyes. Look at the lighting. There's some blue light that's hitting right here, and a shadow that's definitely like highlighting her ass cleavage. And then also you can tell there's a bright light coming directly from like where her ass is, so it glows and highlights like the surface of it.
Well, that's a whole nother trope of fucking
the
of horror is that sex appeal.
Yeah, all of this, which is like I was just like, oh my god, you didn't, because what he's doing is really funny because he's making us look at her like bait, because we're like, oh,
like he is,
and then
like,
he's doing that, yeah. So he turned us into the Terrifier in this shot, and that's what I was getting into. Like Damien like intentionally crafted this moment around her ass so that we are like experiencing the movie with the dude.
He's like, I understand. Like you get that's that empathy thing, but now we put it into another vein of sexuality, which we've never got from Terrifier, being attracted to someone.
About him, yeah, is that he isn't really sexually attracted to them, and that's
he just wants to murder them. He's like, I wonder what the inside of your ass looks like.
He wants to scare them. He wants them to die in the most painful way possible, and that's what's scary about him is he doesn't have a motivation that's understandable by most humans, or like the non-psychotic ones.
Oh yeah.
But yeah,
that was a great scene too. That is just a funny scene where it just comes out of nowhere, and you can see the fear in her eye, and the quick cuts too, where he has the fucking shades with the sun. The sunflowers, the quick cuts, like, oh, he's putting them on, goes to her, and she's like turning around slowly, and then it does a quick cut, and he's just sitting there still with his fucking like, it's creepy. Dude. Yeah.
It's what he did in the first movie, but like it definitely is like, level up. Yeah, it's well done. And this is one that you were talking about. The guy gets the glass bottle in the eye, and then I have to congratulate the special effects because the guy's other eye, the rest of his face is still moving. So the way that they stitched the two shots together is superb. And then of course he uses him as a display later. It's so sick.
Man, we got to talk about Terrifier. I don't know what time are we cutting this podcast off, because we got to talk about Terrifier 3.
Yeah, so we have a half hour left to do it, and I do want to talk about Terrifier 3, and I don't want to leave it to one, so maybe we'll go for an extra long one, especially since we don't have a guest tonight. Because we do have some cool kills to talk about Terrifier 2, and then we're definitely going to spend all the time that we need to on Terrifier 3 also, because I've got thoughts.
Because Terrifier 3 is my favorite, and it has my favorite kill, so I want to at least say that at some point, because that was fucking crazy.
we're gonna put Watcher off. Weapons off the review to next week, and then we can both talk about it.
That's cool. Maybe I'll fucking see it. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Terrifier this week. Because one of the kills that comes up where you realize that he is not just a killer, but he is a terrorizer, is the next kill that comes up in this movie. So first of all, it's a teenage friend, this little like wink, like twig of a thing. But you see that she has gray in her hair, so you know she's like I don't know, in her 30s at least, year-old actress. So there's that. But,
You ever think we're sick in the head?
we're discussing this movie? I mean, it's a masterful art piece. This is what I'm trying to convey with this podcast, is that, like, as much as most of horror is schlock, this one, like, he's doing it on purpose, and so you have to at least respect that.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just fucking around.
But no, like, here's the thing: is like I like congratulate the director for what he does in this, is because this is the one where he tears the girl apart and then brings in salt and vinegar and pours it on her. Yeah. Like, and so it's just like, you're like, oh my God. And then he's silently laughing as she's screaming. And you're like, oh my God.
And it's something to do with the cinematography too. Those quick cuts, like I was saying, really add to it when you're seeing it goes from screaming to that fucking dude just laughing silently like a silent film clown.
Yeah.
Going back, that's really awesome.
And then he leaves her there in her room, gets her mom's attention, so her mom comes and finds her in that condition and finds her alive before he kills her. So again, this like my argument is, like, Terrifier 3 is fantastic because all these pieces, like, add up to it. Like, they just continue to pay off in that movie because he does things like this where he's like, oh yeah, no, Art
it's
the
a
Clown,
snowball.
yeah,
it's a snowball effect.
They're just one movie as far as I'm concerned. So that's why I'm like, we can't split it up. We're talking about the entire Terrifier film. There's just 3 parts of it.
Yeah.
And
I just don't remember all of 2. I remember, like, we talked about all of them. You just said about the mom that got decapitated. Then the bitch gets shot in the face with a shotgun in the front of the car seat. Dude gets his penis ripped off.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last one, because he dies at the end. He dies at every end of the film. But this one I don't remember, where it says the lady got her face melted with hydrochloric acid and stabbed with a nailed club.
Yeah.
That I gotta rewatch 2 because I don't remember shit from fucking 2.
I'm telling you, man, like, it is a fantastic film. I'm pretty sure that the reason that you love 3 is because you have in your memory hole.
I watched 2.
Yeah.
I watched 2, and then,
like, again, it's a continuing story, and it's worth it. There was one thing that I wanted to comment before, and we're almost just going to skip down to the end of Terrifier 2 because we've talked about most of the other things I wanted to talk about, which is cool. That's how I wanted to do it. Is kind of all over the place. But so we finally get a shower scene in the middle of 2, after we find out that she's crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and so you're like, but then also, I like that he put it exactly where he did. Even though I'm like, in an '80s movie, you put the titties on early so that people stick around. That's just what you do out of respect for your audience.
You said, fuck the audience. You're gonna wait, bitch.
Well, no, so he did it there though. It actually makes sense as far as the story is going, because she's preparing herself to go out into the night and take on the beast. And so she not only, like, gets herself clean, but then dresses in the angel warrior costume afterwards.
So you need that montage. Show some titties. Yeah.
Well, I mean, again, so he serves 2 purposes. He shows the titties like we've been asking for the entire movie. And then also he does the thing that's symbolic as a warrior preparing themselves. And stuff.
Yeah, it's like Arnold and Commando putting on all the fucking gear, but instead it's for a horror. That's also where it's not very horror-like, because that is very not. You don't see that often, to where someone's like getting ready, fucking suiting up. I'm about to go take on this fucking. The most you see is like Evil Dead. They go to the fucking shed and grab a chainsaw. And it's groovy. That's, you don't get a whole montage where you're plating up and you're a warrior. Right. So it was out of place, but really cool and unique to the fucking. He's like, I'm gonna be different. I'm gonna be different, but I'm gonna be the same but different. I'm gonna take all of this shit. You're gonna recognize all of it, but it's not gonna make sense.
Again, boom. I totally appreciate about what he did. Because he takes everything that we recognize, rebuilds it into a different shape, and gives us what we want. That's how you should do a new movie. There's this thing where people are like falling back. Sorry, side commentary. They're like, we could only make IP that's worked before, right? Like, we need to make a live action Snow White. because Snow White sold before. But actually, what you need to do is you need to repackage Snow White in a way that's new, so that it feels the same but is different. Terrifier does that. It makes an 80s movie that it feels like it's already, something we know, but at the same time we've never seen this one before.
That's a bad comparison, though. Snow White could have been. You could have did exactly what they did 60 years ago, but with a better cast and just a better plan, and it would have been better. People would have just watched it. The same as I feel if they made a straight ripoff of an 80s movie, but they did it good, I'd still watch it and appreciate it. But you were doing everything thrown against the wall, so there's more to it. You're not just recreating nostalgia, you're inventing a new idea of nostalgia. Like, you've never seen all of this together.
Yeah,
You've only seen it in bits.
Yeah.
Now we're gonna have a whole movie of it all.
That's what I definitely love. Like that's what he's doing is actually not just repackaging but remaking something so that we have something new. And I definitely appreciate that about it. There's some at the end of 2, and this is probably why you don't remember it quite as good. Is there's a lot of like vague shit that happens that he kind of pads the end of 2 with, which is unfortunate. Like they go to a party and they get on Molly, and then they start running around an amusement park, an abandoned amusement park, and it goes on for a little while. So it's like there's no killing that happens. It's like promises killing, and then there's a lot of not killing at this point.
It's basically the end of the battle scene, like fighting the end boss, basically. Like, but maybe they drawn it on too long. I don't recall.
Yeah.
I kind of, after you said that, I remember a little bit, but it's not that memorable.
No, and that's
like the end of the first one. I remember the first one, the whole ending.
Yeah.
But second one, I don't remember the ending like that. I just remember what you just said, the carnival clown amusement park setting. And I think it was like her rescuing her brother or something.
Yeah, exactly. But the girl's actually doing his voice to like lure him in. And again, like it's just so one of my qualms with this this series in general is that the only reason that the heroes survive is because Art's playing with them. If he wanted the kid dead, he would be dead. If he wanted Sienna dead, he would be dead, or she would be dead. So like,
it's a mental torture because you go into the third one and she's fucking got PTSD. So he's like, I'm really getting to you, bitch. You can't kill me.
Interesting. I didn't consider that angle. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
So
like he's fucking unkillable. Like after a point, you get pissed. You'd be like, God damn it! Why won't you fucking die?
And maybe that's okay. Maybe that's an interesting point. We'll get to that when we get to the end of 3, which we're definitely going to do. Yeah, he just keeps toying with her. There's this whole like stuff that goes on. The special girl backstory pays off where she dies in a tank of water, then comes back to the dead, from the dead, which like kind of I thought was poetic, but also went on for way too long. But it puts them on equal footing because we know that Art's died before too. So now the girl who's opposing him has died and come back, and he's died and come back. So I was like, okay, cool. I
think they're on like equal playing ground.
Yeah, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, this is taking a long time to get there. What it felt like to me is along the line they got extra money, and so they wrote extra scenes and they put them in the movie. So I think that's kind of what happens. That's the feeling in the film.
He just had a pipe dream. He just wanted to insert. He's like, you know what? I've never did a movie at an amusement park. I've never, because didn't they go in like the glass house and shit? Like they did all the tropes, if I believe right.
They did.
So they definitely had fun with it, directing it, and he probably just said fuck it, and it was a better film than the first, so I can't knock him.
Yeah, and this again, it's a minor complaint. I love all the killing that's happened, and then some interesting things happen. Like after all that drag happens, it's definitely worth getting through because Art actually bares his neck to her when she's cutting his head off. Again, it's the same suicide thing from the beginning. He doesn't care. He knows
like,
he's
fuck
coming
it,
back.
do it.
Yeah, do it. Kill me. Like my pain adds to my joy. Like, so it's just like he's taking notes from the Hellraiser series. Right, which is also a really popular franchise. It's all about, how pain is pleasure.
Very masochistic. Or not even is that what a masochist is?
Yeah, like they enjoy taking pain.
Yeah. And which I feel like Hellraiser does it better because they talk about it.
Yeah.
Where here we have to analyze it, and we're like, obviously, dude likes dying. He just fucking shot himself in the head, and now he's pressing this bitch's sword into his neck. So,
Right.
but then it's just playing with him, though. It's just putting it out there that like, just do it. Do it. And I'm like, he knows that like she thinks this is the end. She thinks I did it. I fucking did it. He got shot last time. I'm just gonna take off his fucking head this time. This should work. This should do it. I've seen zombie films. Okay.
And it was good. So the one hand, I was like, no, man, it's a Terrifier film. Like, don't let the girl win. Like, the Terrifier has to win. And then at the same time, I was like, okay, we know that he's setting up for another franchise. We know he's coming back. And then, of course, the end credits scene is the faceless woman birthing his head in herself. So it goes to this level where you're like, what the fuck is this thing? Who is the Terrifier? Yeah. So, of course, Terrifier 3 like is just the sequel to the previous two movies. I mean, it's just the extension of it.
Yeah, he's just keeping on. Like, he's not changing the formula at all in 6 years. He's just keeping it the same, just getting a bigger budget to do more crazy shit.
And then
just
continuing, he's like not giving up on his story. You know what I mean? Like, he's not going like Halloween 3, Halloween 2, the one with the witch mask.
Yeah, 3. Yeah. Well, that was different. They wanted to make Halloween like an anthology, like creep show.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're like no,
and they could do that with this too, like the Terrifier. But then they name him at some point, I think, the Terrifier, right? Or do they always just call him Art the Clown the entire time?
Most of the time, they call him the whatever the guy is, the massacre. Again, I should know this. Guys, comment below because you all know this better than me.
Maybe that will be like the theory that like they'll do a flashback to that massacre and something.
The original, like so the one that he's imitating or something like that. That's interesting.
Or not even imitating, or like how he became who he is, like an origin story, sort of. You know, because if he's never been named Art the Clown, they just keeps mentioning this massacre.
I'm sorry.
I
did mean to mention it. It's one of the kids looking it up that they call him Art. Like the kids doing research and they're calling him Creepy. Yeah, it's on the website. I meant to say that was a cool thing where he like finally gets a name and we get it through this guy who's a fan of his.
Well, then at that point, Terrifier could become an anthology if they really wanted to, because it's the Terrifier films. Like, you're gonna be terrified or whatever the fuck they want to do.
Especially, let's get into it now. Especially with what they've done in Terrifier 3, because what we find out in Terrifier 3 is that they are demons sent to Earth to inflict pain and take people's bodies over as they're dying from pain.
Mm-hmm.
So it's real
very Hellraiser.
Real interesting. Yeah, like I was like, when they finally explained it, it took the 3 movies, but when they finally got there, I was like, God damn, like that's a right there, huh? Because then
he finished Terrifier 2. Yeah, it's like he he finished Terrifier 2, watched a Hellraiser marathon, and was like, you know what we can add?
Right. He's like, you know how this crosses over. And then it's the demon possession thing too, which it ties into the Exorcist franchise as well. So like again, I had to tip my hat to like he's trying to like actually do all of the tropes,
like, which is insane.
It's a crazy goal, but he's actually doing it.
It could be a whole origin story with Terrifier the beginning, and we see how Art became Art the Clown.
Interesting.
And that would be fucking cool.
I would like to see, like then we have some like thought. I would hope that 4 would do it. I don't know if it needs it, or if it's just what I want. But because I mean, he could. I think 4 might be fine with it.
I think if anything, 4 we're gonna get flashbacks, maybe a little bit of Art, but more with her and her dad. Maybe have. Which I do not know. I might be talking about my ass, but maybe show her dad having something to do with him or something like that. But I think this is a wrap it up 4, maybe the end to the story with her, and then sky's the limit after that.
I love your theory that he's actually just torturing her and breaking her down so that he can turn her into a Terrifier. I think that would be a fantastic conclusion to the trilogy, the 4-part trilogy, because it would be true to itself.
And you could continue it, pick it up somewhere if you wanted to, but do like a origin story and then do whatever you want to do. But it's fucking, I'm all for whatever. I trust him. After 3, I
100%.
trust him.
100%. I say give him as much money as he can possibly get. I'll let him make whatever he wants to. It's not a Terrifier project, anything he wants to, because he's going to do a good job at it because he knows what he's doing. So we have to call out one of the things that we haven't called out at all about Terrifier 3, which is the fact that it's a Christmas movie also.
There's a what?
It's a Christmas movie.
Well, yeah. First, I want to say this though. First, I want to say this: that this franchise went from $35,000 to $55,000 to the third being $2 million.
Nice.
That's crazy.
Good job, my boy. That's crazy. Well, also you see that in this one he teamed up with I think like 5 different studios, and so carrying some of that cost definitely helps out a lot.
Okay, so here's this. So Terrifier 4, the budget is going to be $4 to $6 million.
Yes.
So you went. He's just going up, dude. 1 was 35, 2 was 250, 3's $2 million. Now he's up to 6. This is gonna be fucking dope. I already know.
You know it's gonna be dope. And our boy loves special effects, so we're gonna see the best ones.
You tripled the budget of my favorite one. It has to be good.
Oh my god.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, and I don't think that he can mess with that because he knows what he's doing again, and I really appreciate it. I'm willing to watch whatever he puts out. So hopefully it'll come out sooner rather than later. So yeah, it being a Christmas movie, has him in a Santa outfit, which at first I was like, okay, I mean that's cool, and then you find out later that he's actually wearing a man's beard as his beard. Because he tore it off an actual Santa Claus.
Well, the movie starts fucking insane. Like okay, I remember watching it.
I apologize. We skipped the intro. Yeah, let's talk about it.
You got to talk about that intro because we watched it in the theater, and I was like, I'm gonna show my parents this, and it's gonna be intense, and it was because it is fucking intense. Like he fucking They did something that you don't usually do in horror movies ever. They showed kids being fucked up. Like the kid got hacked to pieces. And you don't usually see that. That is not a norm. Like he killed the whole family. You don't see the last death, but the first death you see, this kid's and they did it really good, by the way, because he walks up the stairs. It's really ominous and quiet, and all you can hear is he's like doing like something by the Christmas tree. Little girl comes down. She sees him. She's like weirdo. Goes and hides. He goes up the stairs. It's all quiet. All you can hear is this creaking walking up the fucking stairs. He opens the door. There's almost no sound. I think at that point.
Okay, so there's
just closes the door,
and that's it. Yeah, it's just this low violin strumming or something. It's like ooh,
yep.
You know, it's building the tension.
Then when all the shit happens, her husband's like getting hacked right next to her. She's running around. She's like, Johnny! Opens the door. Kids in 8 pieces.
In pieces. Yeah.
I'm I can't believe they fucking did that.
They did it, but it's like the setup for it. Like again, just the
very slow.
Just the music. It was one of the few times in a Terrifier movie they didn't show you it right away, and so your brain was working overtime. You're like, who is he killing? What's happening? And then we find out it was the kid. Yeah.
I had a feeling it was the kid, but I didn't think they were gonna show it. I thought it was gonna be like one of those cutoffs where you don't see it, or you don't see it like that. You just mom goes in, screams, runs away. They had a good shot where you saw it, and I was like, "Wow, you guys really didn't give a fuck, did you?" You said, "Fuck it," and that was awesome. That was pretty cool. That was different.
Yeah, you definitely have to be like again because they say that they're not gonna follow the rules. Like they're setting up their own rules. That whole scene,
which is really ballsy. I give you credit just for that.
Yeah, mommy, there's someone on the roof, and it's Christmas time. But you're like, no, this is a Terrifier movie. We already know who's on the roof. So the whole scene, you're just like sitting there being like, oh my God, when is he going to show up? Such a fantastic.
And you have the whole intro with his head biting the officer and face and scalps getting ripped off and the face bitch. That was a whole thing in the beginning. That was pretty good. But it was like a build up. It was not hitting the shit. Like the intro was great, but then they kind of slowed it down, and you saw a couple deaths with those cops. But then you get more further on, you get to see the fucking Santa shit go on.
And again, this is the thing where you say it's really like terrifying because he's like all normal and cool and everything's fine.
It's like a comedy. They're fucking with them.
Also,
he's like, I'll buy you a drink, clowny.
Shout out to Clint Howard, who's in that scene. You know, he's the drunk guy who's commenting the whole time. Clint Howard, you know, of course, famous character actor for a very long time in a bunch of horror movies.
It was a surprise to see him. I'm like, oh, that motherfucker's in this. That's nice. But then he froze that dude's arms off and fucking. I'm like, oh my god, dude.
And then takes a hammer to him.
Then I forget how he took. Did he just scalp his beard off and just put it on? And he's like,
him down and then rips it off. Yeah, and then he's wearing a dude's beard for the rest of the movie. And we, you know, the first set of kills, we see him wearing that beard, and you don't even think about it, and you get the origin story of the beard, and you're like, fuck.
Oh yeah, that was awesome. I'm looking at these deaths to see which ones I remember being the best.
Well, one of the ones that's most memorable for the Santa Claus is that, you know, he takes over from Mall Santa and gives out a bunch of toys. And again, you're like watching him be nice, and it's really, really creepy, and you don't know why. And then everybody, like, the parents get up in arms and gets kicked out, and you see this kid with a box. And like, I'm like, dude, I hope it's a bomb. Yeah, I hope that they have a bomb. And then it explodes. And then, dude, like, you see his face, like the Terrifier, like he's just like laughing and like, he's like mocking them. You're just like, oh my god,
well, yeah, like
this guy.
The first time you see it, like, I'm like, there's something in those presents, but I don't know what it is.
There's no way he's being nice. Like, why would he be nice to them?
Yeah. It's like a fucking surprise, man. You don't know what's gonna happen.
No. That seems really fun and serves no real purpose in the movie. There's like some runtime in the movie where I'm like, this stuff should be cut, and that one is one of them. Although I love it so much. Like, I'm like, it's such a fun moment. But it doesn't. You know, like Sienna's being like haunted by him in the mall, and they do this whole like side segue. But I feel like it's just they had money and they were writing scenes.
My favorite part was when he goes to see her brother at college, and it honestly don't even make any goddamn sense when you think about it, because how did he get a chainsaw? But it was very 80s in the light that it was a sex scene, there's titties
in the bathroom,
but then you don't know what's about to happen, and it just goes crazy. He fucking just starts slashing the bathroom door down, and then it just keeps going. Like, I think he like saws the dude's arm a little bit, and then the woman puts her hands up. He just saws off her fingers and down her wrists, and then they're
like slashes across
distorted.
The chest, so it's like a boob shot, but at the same time, it's a boob shot that's getting slashed in half, and you're like, oh my god.
But it, like, she didn't even get it the worst. I don't even remember how she died. I think he just kills her real quick, but the dude gets it so bad. Yeah, she crawls away, doesn't she? I think.
No, so here's the thing. So she's dying. This is another one of the things that Damien does that I really appreciate. So right before these scenes happen, she's talking about, because she's a podcaster, and she's talking about, you know, all these serial killings and stuff like that. And this is one of the most interesting ones. And she said
she's like, I want to see it. I want to know the art experience.
She wants to look him in the face, and she wants to see in his eyes. And so he kills her, but he sees that she's still alive, and he takes his sunglasses off and looks her directly in the eyes. And it's like this moment doesn't need to exist, but god damn, it's so fucking creepy, because he's like, you know, you're getting the fucking experience.
You wanted this, bitch.
You wanted this. Yeah. And then the dude.
Then he puts the shades on her.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he puts the shades on her. But let's get to the dude. He's naked. He's got a chainsaw, and he flips him over. I'm like, go for the ass. And then he goes fucking for the ass. He just like,
well,
you know?
I don't think that was it though. He got everywhere. Then, he like cut his legs so he couldn't walk, and then he flipped him over and went right up the ass crack. And like, all I'm thinking of is my balls in the theater. I'm like, oh my god. And then he just keeps going.
Graphic,
I'm like, Jesus.
chainsaw castration, 100%. It was in my notes underlined 3 times, because it's just like you're like looking at the dick getting hit by a chainsaw. So if you can't handle that, you might not want to look at that part of the movie. But also, they did it. They went for it. And there's no cut. It's really fucking crazy.
Dude, and you know what's crazy is when you're in a movie theater watching a horror movie like that, and everybody's just eyed to the screen. It's like we are all sick fucks right now, dude. Because like we're just eyeing this shit right now, and no one's like covering their eyes, like, oh my god, oh my, that's so fucked up. Like we're like, whoa,
well, this is what you signed up for. That's why you come to a Terrifier movie. That's what you wanted. You'd be very disappointed if you didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I was actually watching the movie, as the director, I think intended, if I get down to like, what it means to be an artist and whatnot, at about 8:15 in the morning in a laundromat on my phone. So I think that, like Damien Leone would be very proud of me for giving it the full experience.
You just like look up, you're very surreal. You're like, oh,
exactly.
maybe I should get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, I was like, oh, okay. I just, because I have 90 minutes to kill, my laundry's getting, done. It's just like, what the fuck? And I was like, yeah, watching Terrifier. Kids running around.
Is my underwear worth getting decapitated? I don't know.
So there's one really cool moment in this movie that we need to talk about. Because it's where
how do you feel about the cop out? How do you feel about the cop out with the brother? Because it happened so quick, and I know it was like a plot twist. But
we'll get to that in a sec. But because there's some things that I do have to say. But I want to talk about this one cool moment, where we see the faceless woman commit suicide, and we see Art. Like, it's weird. He fucking like absorbs her power or something. He sits down and he goes into this like hibernation. And then it fast forwards in time. I forget how much time. But when we come back to him, he's still in the same place. He's covered in dust and cobwebs. And it's just, again, like what is this thing, right? That doesn't need to sleep or eat, that doesn't rot. It's just. And then he's woken up and starts killing again.
Yeah, he's just like an entity.
Yeah,
he's and just a being.
They explain demon possession in the movie, and that's kind of like what the plot is of 3. Like, really focuses on that. And again, I really appreciate that. Like we find out that he controls the faceless woman because of the demons. He's kind of like Legion, where he's like a collection of demons that has many bodies it can take on. And like that, which is real creepy as far as like demon lore goes. So that's really cool. But then it was just like, it was so like horrifying. Like, he's not only just Frankensteining, but like he can just sit and rest for long periods of time because he's not a being like we are. And that's one thing. It was just, again, it like got under my skin because like we have seen him eat cookies and we have seen him be a goof. And then the fact that he was just like, yeah, he's this other thing. It's just it's like it's like that
it's very alien
horror, eldritch horror. Yeah, this the part, where it's like something that's beyond what we understand. And I think that's one of the things that really like scared me too about this movie. So I give it up to the writing, because that's like, holy shit, I'd never been that scared before.
Well, he's a horror villain that obviously is, well, it's more like, he might just be like a possession scenario, but for some reason the demonology gives it more power somehow, like it enhances the human he's in. So they don't need to eat, they don't need to breathe, they don't need to do anything. They just need, but they can also, they have blood. He has a digestive, like, imagine they've made a scene where Art was taking a shit, and you're like, okay, well, he takes shits, so like he's a human, but he's advanced. He's like an alien being that we just can't wrap our head around.
That's the thing.
Very
that's so scary.
Supernatural.
Yeah. He's wearing our skin, but he is not one of us. And that,
well, that's just the abstract of the unknown. Everything the unknown is always more terrifying. The thing that you can't understand. Like, we can't understand death. We don't know what happens after death. We'll never know because we don't know. We don't know how Art does all these things, so it makes it scary. You're like, how the fuck did you just sit there, bro?
Yeah, he's very powerful. And then they just awaken feed. This has a really fun kill where they tear the dude's like skin down the sides of his face, like just splitting him open from the skull. Which, I mean, as far as special effects goes, fantastic. It's just like dangling there. And also one of the most gruesome moments because what's happening at the same time is the faceless woman is met with glass.
Oh yeah,
It's
that was very Exorcist right there.
yeah, exactly. That's what I was like. Oh yeah, there's the notes from The Exorcist, right? Yeah, like it's like, and then we're like, oh, they're a demon. This makes sense now. Yeah, like so he's really like taking again notes from every single horror movie that has existed. Uh, so he's like,
He,
you like to be scared, little boy.
he's going deep into the demon genre right now, for sure. That's
Yeah,
where he went to. It went from serial killer to demon
and it's
within
interesting, yeah,
a
how it's
movie.
morphed over time, right? Like he was like a more realistic serial killer. He became more of like a slasher Saw character, like a Halloween and Saw character. And then this one, he definitely went like we're going Exorcist, and adding that to the lore. And I was like, this is real interesting. Um,
And I mean that's good for like showing your friends too. Like if there's so many of my friends that never watched it, so I can show them the first one, and by the time you get to the third, you have that whole kind of lore progress that's going on where they experience it for the first time. I've already seen it all. You haven't. You have to learn it as you go, like I did, and that's fun. That will be forever. Everybody that watches Terrifier is going to be able to be like, bro, you haven't. You don't even know what's coming. Like you can watch all the Friday the 13th movies, and you're going to get the gist by the second one. But
right. It just yeah,
then
exactly. They get kind of boring, and that's
this is
why I
cool.
kind of got out the genre. Yeah, this one does
Makes
not
it
get boring.
rewatchable.
Yeah, there's fun things. Now, it does have a couple flaws, and this is one of the things that we were going to talk about at the end. Is that so the kids get killed in the shower, which is a classic thing that happens. But the thing that they've been mentioning the entire movie was this Christmas party that everyone was going to go to, and then they give you this great lead in with uh, I have a quote of it. It's Satan's like been at play. It's from God Rest You Merry Gentlemen, but it's just like looping um, this. Oh man, I can't remember what it was. Hang on. Here it is. Save us all from Satan's power, which is part of that Christmas song. And he just loops, save us all from Satan's power. And he's like getting out of this van, like on the campus, but we never see the slaughter at the Christmas party.
I don't know if he really slaughtered everyone there.
Well,
I
here's the
don't know
thing.
if that was.
It doesn't happen in the movie, right? And that it's not a thing that happens. What I'm saying is what I'm doing is supposing a scene that I believe should exist, because
Yeah.
it foreshadows it throughout the movie. Like the kid is supposed to go to this party. The reason he doesn't come home with his sister is because he's going to this party. We see a bunch of people going to this party as is getting out of a van. So it's showing you all these pieces, which Damien does. He's very smart. That shows that he's about to do a slaughter at the party, and then they never deliver on the slaughter at the party.
I don't know if that was because they wanted to leave it open ended, but like anybody would know the plot twist coming that he got her brother. That's very, very predictable at that point. So I don't know why he did that because he could have showed some more shit in that party
Right.
and then cut away when he meets the brother, and it would have done the same thing. You would just have more kills other than the shower scene.
Right.
So,
Well, and yeah, it would have, and that's what I was kind of. It was like leading up to that, and then also we don't see what happens to the brother. If he dies off
Not at all.
screen, yeah, or he's disappeared, or like what it is, they insinuate that the skull that's being chewed on rats is the brother. But they also said that it was Gabby, and then we find out that Gabby's alive. So like they're demons. Of course, we can't believe them.
Yeah, you have no you have no idea what's going on. The
Right.
only thing we know is that her sister went in the portal, right?
Okay, yeah, and here's the thing about that. Like, I totally did not expect a portal to hell
Some
to
Evil
open
Dead
at
shit.
the end of Terrifier 3. Oh my god. Also, she does the stupidest shit where she uses her sword to try to pull her out by holding on
and
to
I'm
the
like,
fucking
are you
blade.
stupid?
Yeah, like, I'm like, maybe your mom was right about you. Maybe you are fucking stupid.
Yeah, maybe you're not fit to do this, bitch.
Right, yeah, you're not the final girl at all. And maybe that's what like is actually supposed to allude to is we're supposed to feel that way about her. So when it turns out that she falls under his spell and becomes one of his like terrorizers, then we're like, oh yeah, okay, yeah, she never was actually set out for that.
I would hope it wasn't just a ploy to just make people cringe. Like it was just hey, we're gonna make her do something like crazy and
So fucking
stupid,
stupid.
but
Yeah, I
like
hope that it pays off.
but
Yeah.
it's gonna make people cringe when they see a blade coming up and all that. So I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do with Terrifier 4, but my ideas and theories hopefully is something like that because I have no idea where he's going with this. I hope that with a budget like that, he's obviously going to have some section of hell, right? So
Right. Well,
that'd be
he
kind of
has to.
cool.
Well, because her final line in the movie is "I will find you." That's what sets up to seeing the episode 4. Is that that's what the journey is. It's total fucking Dream Warriors. Like you're familiar with the movie Dream Warriors, right? Like you've seen it, not just like the
Yeah,
title. Yeah, that's what they do. They
yeah.
go to hell to go take care of stuff. Wait, I am so sorry. I just confused Hellraiser with Dream Warriors. Because it's similar. They go up against the bad guy in their own territory, but it's not the same movie at all. I am so sorry. Yeah, this is I made a reference. I
Kind
was
of
like,
the
you know the
same.
reference I'm talking about? And you're like, yeah. I'm like, well, it's not that.
Well, you said Dream Warriors, and I was like, they do go to hell. But I don't think they ever fight them in hell.
Yeah, I don't think.
I don't
Yeah, I
remember
think
that.
trying to like.
I don't think I've ever watched all the Hellraisers, like the ones from the '90s, if that was the one.
I think
But
I think it's the third. No, those movies are real boring. Like if you're a fan of horror, anyone out there who's a fan of horror, just know that the Hellraiser movies are pretty boring. Except for the more recent ones, they are kind of interesting, but not like the first one. The first one is the most interesting of the series. It's kind of like Jurassic Park. They made more of it. You don't need it.
I always liked the second one the best because it was like you know what's going on. It's like kind of like Terrifier. It picks up right after, so you cut all the bullshit. We already know what's going on. Let's just do crazy shit. No, but all the Hellraisers after that, I don't. I think I watched one where they were on a chat, like it was very '90s. Like they were doing a chat fucking site and talking about it, and I was like, I don't know. It didn't. It didn't. And then they replaced the fucking pinhead dude, and I just
yeah.
them.
I like where they've gone with that because the first ones were not good. The ones that have come in have actually done some justice to the original Pinhead character. That's.
But I wonder how they're gonna. How do you think they're gonna do hell in Terrifier 4? Like, there's different ideas of what hell looks like. And the portal doesn't really tell you.
No, it's just a whole. Yeah, I'm sure he intentionally left it vague. But it makes sense. It's a 80s horror trope. They go to hell. So it's a Hellraiser. I'm sorry, it's a Terrifier hell. So the aesthetic that he has is that like dirty hobo mime look.
Do you think it's gonna be like that?
If I was gonna guess, if they're keeping the same aesthetic, that's where I would get it. Is it what I want? I don't know, but yeah,
like
I think
you're kind of like in an empty city or some shit. Like you're just like a dark city type thing where no one's around and there's just empty cars and shit, but you have weird subliminal things around in the environment that's just creepy, or like there's like a Twilight Zone kind of thing. Like it looks normal, but it's fucked up. Or is it going to be red fire, demon hell? Or is it just going to be very weird and just not what we're expecting at all? Like he has his own idea of what hell is going to be like. I don't know.
That's interesting. I think more the dystopian because that'd be easier to film on a budget and it has very like 80s 90s feel to it. That would be my guess, but I couldn't tell you for sure what his hell version of hell is.
What if it's just like a bunch of those faceless people walking around and they're chasing them throughout a city
who have been tortured? Yeah, that's actually he may have a number of souls that he has trapped there,
just collected. Yeah,
yeah.
He's like the Galactus of horror. He just swallows them all up. Yeah.
Well, he does. He definitely is consuming it in some way. So yeah, that's the.
That would be the only way to end it for me in my mind is that she has to trade her soul and become like his herald to
a Terrifier. Yeah, absolutely. Once you said that, it absolutely makes sense. And this is the reason why, because in the final scene, there's that showdown between the faceless woman and her. She puts the crown of thorns, the Jesus symbol, which means that she's a sacrifice of some sort on her head with the razor blades in it. and she says, "Take me instead of Gabby. Take me instead of her." And the faceless woman leans in and says, "I already have you." Which again is like super creepy, fantastically written. Moment was pulled off, executed perfectly. So again, props to the director. But it's
And
an
it's also
interesting.
just like against the trope because like
Yeah,
that happens all the time. You're like, take me, and then they'll maybe consider it, or the person has to just break away. But they inserted that line. They're
yeah.
like, I don't need you.
I
I
don't.
already got
I
you.
already have you because she's tied to a chair, and
Can,
Art has been
like,
slapping
how
her
you gonna get
head
away?
the whole scene. Yeah, he's just been slapping her on the back of the head. So stupid.
Yeah, she gets. That's one of my complaints about it because she gets fucked up and she can still use her hands. Because I remember her hands
Yeah,
got fucked up in that.
yeah,
I'm like, how the hell did you do? It's just movie magic
yeah.
at that point.
Well,
Because
then also she heals herself in the movie. Like she's got this power like out of nowhere. But it's like, bitch, if you could heal yourself, then get rid of your mental problems. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
what if it's also the ending is just her becoming the angel, like
Well,
battle
see,
angel, and
that's
she just fights. But that would be so weird
I
if
don't
it
fucking
like
want
got
that at
create.
all.
What if like the Terrifier transforms into like his hell being like fucking it, and he's not the same. He's like this fucking big being, and now she's an angel, and they have a duke out, and I mean
So it goes like
that
slow
is a
fantasy in the fourth movie.
yeah. I don't want
It,
that,
it
but
has a
I could see
possibility.
him
I don't
doing
want
that.
it, but he definitely has been playing like that like game a bunch. Like again, like in Terrifier 2, it's such a big part of the movie. That I was like, what the fuck is going on? Like it's out of place, but he's intentionally doing
Like
it, obviously. So
you trying to make this shit Pan's Labyrinth or
yeah,
some
exactly.
shit.
Like you're not Cameron del Toro.
Like
This
what
is
do
not
you
exactly the
what do you
same.
do when like she goes to hell dimension and fucking Art the Clown's there and he just takes his eyes out and his fucking head fucking gets big. What if he
Well, right.
talks in this? What if he talks in
Ooh,
hell? Like he has a
ooh,
voice or some shit.
ooh, I didn't even
And
think
he's
about
a
that.
little
That's a real
very
possibility.
deep demonic voice. Yeah.
Interesting take. Um, man.
And I think the movie's going to be a build up to how she gets to the hell dimension. There's going to be something that she has to summon a portal somehow and talk to people, and it might if the long they don't drag it on too long. But I think it's obviously going to be a part of the fucking movie. She has
Right. I
to
mean,
figure a way to get there.
you got to get there somehow. Yeah. My only big complaint with Terrifier 3 is how it ends. Um, because it ends with him taking a bus, and
Oh yeah,
he's kind of being spooky to the woman on the bus. But the first two movies ended with his suicide death. And this one, those ones go out with a bang, and this one kind of just fizzles out. Um, I really believe in the franchise. I would like where this is going. I do want to see him, and like killing him is pointless, we know, because he's obviously coming back. But it just wasn't satisfying. Like he slips off into the night, and like she's left wondering, and she says, "I'll come find you." You know what I mean? So it just like as far as like we really wrapped that movie up, it just didn't have it.
well you can get the first one. He shoots himself. He's still alive. How's he alive? Maybe he's a zombie. Maybe he's demonic. And then the second she cuts his head off, okay,
Right.
that should have did it. And now we know at this point nothing kills him. He's for maybe something does. Maybe you have to burn him. Maybe you have to keep him fucking content. Like didn't she try and kill him at one point, burning him or
Yeah, so
trying to do something like that?
she stabs him all the way through and pins him to a wall, but we know that doesn't actually kill him. And she had decapitated him, right? Like it should have done it, and we know that didn't do it either. I will give you that it plays completely against the trope, which is what he does a lot. It gives us the unexpected. So I appreciate that. Um, I just I don't have a better idea than what should have happened, but somebody should have died or won. Um, but
Yeah, like, but I mean, end it like him just stabbing someone in the face isn't so like. Imagine if that bitch on the bus he just fucking kills and goes up and kills the bus driver, and then it just flashes Terrifier 3, and then like and that's it. And like
right.
that's cool, and that's probably what I would probably prefer. But horror people
there's
like that
something-
ominous flow. You don't know, but you don't know. And sometimes people play with that and like that. But I'm a gory guy. I like all the gory shit.
Yeah, I take it. I was hoping that he would kill her in this movie, like especially with she was like suffering so bad and all this sort of stuff. That was like, it's good. They should have let her be the final, kill her in the same way, and that was kind of like the thing. But that didn't happen either. So it's just like the ending is a what's an impasse? Sorry.
What I would think is kill her sister and do the fucking kid shit again. Kill her sister and send that bitch down into the portal so we just start in hell in the next one. You don't have to go find your sister. You don't have to do this whole trope.
Yeah, you
just
see right. Yeah.
Kill this, and then the ending is just her like fucking Evil Dead 2 just going somewhere, and then maybe they even show hell a little bit when she first gets there.
I would have been down for that.
That would have been a better ending.
That would have been a better ending. Yeah, because then something has happened. She is lost, and now she has to win. And at this point, it's like she could just go back to her regular life and feel sad about Gabby, and nothing would change her. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like they left her on a cliffhanger, but we know what they're gonna do. They're gonna do something in that vein, but realistically,
they should have thrown her in hell. They should have ended, they should have ended the movie with her going to hell and being trapped in hell. That I'm with you.
I think that would have been cool.
But that's the Terrifier series that we just went through with everybody.
Went through all three and sneak peeks at the fourth.
And talked about the fourth. So guys, you've been listening to Flicking with Skip. This is a Cox's Space podcast here with my co-host Curtis Wolff. And we talk about all sorts of exciting things on this show, movies. We're going to talk about Weapons next week. Hopefully you get a chance to see it. And how do you feel about Cronenberg?
Cronenberg?
Yeah.
As
his genre.
Fuck. Give me an example. Is that a director that I'm just blanking on right now?
Oh, yeah,
What's a movie that he did?
He does a lot of body horror. He does Videodrome. There's Existence. Let me look up his IMDb so that I can give you the rundown.
David Cronenberg? Is
Cronenberg,
that who it is?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, he's a classic for that, man. He's a legend. And they kind of gave him a callback with that new movie that came out last year. It was the one where the bitch was taking something every day. And she was like, you had to like split your half. Like you would transfer your body to your young self. And then, but it has to work a certain way or your body degrades. And they had a lot of David Cronenberg special effects. Like her body was falling apart, like it was really gross. I can't remember what that fucking movie was called, though. They got a big-ass award and shit.
That's definitely a Cronenberg-style movie. He doesn't just do that weird sort of stuff, but that's what he's known for, is a lot of body horror. And movies that are horrifying in a way that's stereotypical. It generally messes with how you think about the world.
Oh yeah, Videodrome is insane. I remember watching that my first time, and he got like a Glock that came out of his hand or some shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, what the fuck is this movie?
Yeah, exactly. They're like trippy sci-fi, like body horror, existential horror. But yeah, you want to watch a couple of Cronenberg movies and talk about which ones you saw? Fly is a good one.
Oh, I got it. It's called The Substance. If you haven't watched it, that is very David Cronenberg.
Yeah, that's an old horror movie also.
Hmm?
The Substance it's an old horror movie. I think it's from the 70s.
I don't know about...
no, The Stuff. I'm sorry. That's different.
Yeah, The Stuff is good too. I really like The Stuff as well.
That's the movie I was thinking. But
The Substance is like a fucking very sexy movie though. It's a very but it's very Like they have a bunch of actors in it, and the way they film it, like the one dude's eating crabs, like crab legs, and he's dipping it in the butter, and they're doing close-ups on his mouth, and and he's having like a conversation, talking and shit,
Yeah,
and it's really gross.
that's gross.
He just that movie's pretty awesome. But David Cronenberg, his best movie for me is The Fly.
Yeah,
The Fly is my favorite.
I think that's
That
why I
is a
brought it up.
real
'Cause
trippy one.
yeah, you'd mentioned it as far as like great horror of its time period. So yeah, Cronenberg movie. But yeah, we're gonna be meeting again on Friday next. We're gonna go some more animation and talk movies. So guys, if you want to join us, you can do that. Go to coxspace.com so you can vote on your favorite episode. Vote on this episode because this was a fun episode. But we're gonna sign off for tonight. And Curtis, thank you for being here, man. Any socials you want to shout out before we close?
Just hit up my TikTok. It's Wolf_productions.98. It has everything that I post. So.
And that's a good time. You get to see all of his stand up as it develops. So fun time. Guys, you can always check us out at our website. You can check us out on YouTube. Thank you for listening through this with us, and see you soon. Bye.